like learn how to borscht like while we're masterminding at the same time. Go ahead. Continue.
Okay. So these are the greens that I'm going to chop to go along with the beets for the borscht. Yeah. Okay. So I'm chopping. Cutting board. Oh God.
Oh God. Scary.
I'm gonna rinse them. Guys, talk about monetization.
Oh, we are.
Anyway, we're trying not to talk over you, I think. So
don't worry. If I want to be heard, I'll be heard.
Okay. This is true. This is true. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining. This is Ruthie Otero of Cooking Up Adventures. She is making borscht for us as we're trying to mastermind at the same time. We're just trying to think about how do you monetize your business and what do you do to monetize. So right now, I'm struggling with that. I'll be completely open and honest. I'm struggling with that right now. I'm trying to venture from doing social media for small business to like just talking about live streaming because I love live streaming. Monty, how do you monetize your business? I think you got a couple different ways.
I'm very direct. I go talk to clients about what we do, how we do it, and charge a fee.
That's a good way. Very good way. Awesome.
I mean, it's very specific.
Very cool. And we would love to have somebody else go ahead and have a seat. Hey, Vera, Plain and Tall.
Okay, to be honest, I have this cooking travel show web series that I love. Mm-hmm. And these two guys, I don't know if I'm pointing the right direction.
Both way.
No one's above me. This guy here and this guy here, because it's mirrored what I heard. They're telling me that this can be a business and that I should do it. And the truth is people love my videos and I love doing them, but I don't see, and this might be a mental problem, but I don't see how I can make it a business just yet. Because I went to Russia and I can't go to Russia again. I would love to. You know that I use frequent flyer miles. So I'm having a challenge in monetizing. So that's one of the, selfishly, that's part of the topic. But this guy here seems to have no problem monetizing anything. But how would you guys suggest I monetize a business? How do you monetize your businesses? As I teach you how to make borscht that I learned from Moscow.
There you go. Great.
Right now I'm chopping beet greens. It's raining here.
So does borscht have a protein in it, or am I just totally off in what I'm thinking?
So borscht does have protein in it, but I learned a vegetarian recipe, so that's the only borscht I know. But you can put beans or you can put beef.
Oh wow!
So Charlene, we would love for you to have a seat. I know you have to go, but she's asking some great questions. She says, "What is on the videos, and is it something that could be put behind a paywall?" She basically teaches, and Ruthie, you go ahead and correct me if I'm wrong, but she teaches you how to cook. She goes around to different people. Teaches you how to cook with a lot of different ethnicities there. So she went to Russia a couple months back. She has done. Have you done Vietnamese cooking as well?
Yes, I've gone to Vietnam. I went to Colombia a couple of years ago. I went to Easter Island. I've gone to Peru. Yeah, I've gone places to learn how to cook.
So, she just said, "Oh hell, I'm going to have to stay now." Coming in a moment. Awesome, fantastic. So go ahead and come in, Charlene. But yeah, Ruthie is awesome sauce. She's just not well known on the YouTube, and she should be much more well known. Sean Michael, thank you so much. Success, Sean. Thank you so much. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
The beet greens that I've chopped. Can you see that?
Yes. Hey, Charlene.
They're pretty. Charlene's in the house.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
I've talked about you like this thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I've been having a little bit of troubles with my headset and my voice. Sorry about that.
No worries. Fine.
How are you financing the trips to the places to have the adventure and to make things?
Good question.
Darlene.
Good question.
This last trip was a miracle of God. I had enough frequent flyer miles to go to Russia for $163 and back. And then my Airbnb was $27 a night, so I was able to fund it.
Okay.
But I was only there 5 days.
It's amazing.
Wow.
And that was the only trip you've taken?
No.
No, I've gone to other countries, and basically, to date, I fund them myself.
So, have you considered partnering with a company that offers adventure vacations? And gee, wouldn't it be awesome if as a family we went to Russia with Ruthie
Right.
and learned how to make tours? Because Ruthie's personality, everybody loves, right?
Yes, this is
Yes. True story.
But how do I get people? Okay,
Hey, wait a second. This is brainstorming right now.
I'm shutting up.
Yeah.
I'm shutting up.
We're not gonna, this is brainstorming. This is how it works. We start brainstorming, throwing it out there, and then something's going to really resonate.
Mm-hmm.
And it might be today and it might be tomorrow. When
You're
it really resonates, that's when you start pull that one thing out, and only one at a time, one thing out, and then you start fleshing it out a bit. Then you go into the details. And do not, Monty, you know this from the Think and Grow Rich. Do not say it cannot be done.
Amen.
Indeed.
That is not an option. Okay?
Yes, Charlene, I like you.
So right now, it just truly is brainstorm. So now we have collaboration, maybe with an adventure company or a. Oh shoot! I was just in talks with somebody about 3 months ago. It's a company in Thailand that has it's a family-owned business, and what they're doing to make money is helping people, families, not just singles or couples. It's families have an adventure in Thailand. It's like 1 week trip, and they handle everything for them, and they're their guides and everything else. So that's where I was going with that idea. But we can go on to other ideas. How else can you monetize?
No, I think that's a great idea.
So the kind of stuff the kind of videos that you have, would they work behind a paywall?
Yes.
A membership site?
Well, I think so, because what I would do is in the country, I would record, the recipe of them teaching me. And then I guess I could do a snippet of that without showing them the exact way that they teach me, like the exact ingredients and everything.
Well, yeah, you show the really yummy dish at the end and everybody gorging on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's more like a music video. Like when I'm actually in the country, I show them the music video, the promo of it. And then behind the scenes.
So you have that then. You could put it behind a paywall, a membership site.
Right.
Then you could do that first and then bring in sponsorship from the people who offer the travel adventures. So now, yes.
What is my role with these people who do the adventure
I don't
travel?
know. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not there yet.
We're just brainstorming. Come on.
You know, you've got this recorded for a reason.
Strategy, all planned out before she does anything.
Okay, yeah. I mean, so come on, Monty and Daryl, jump in.
I totally agree. I think a paywall is awesome, and I think she has great personality. And back to the fact that she's an actor, so she has exceptional skill when it comes to working the camera, working the videos.
Well, my goodness, and you could do improv?
Yes.
Honestly, Ruthie, for the longest time.
Entertainment value alone.
Right.
That's when I know this is some value, because people don't, I know I'm not doing a typical cooking show, because it's not just,
Well, it wouldn't be called a cooking show.
Right.
But we're not there yet.
Ruthie, in one of our previous masterminds, you mentioned that somebody you had hired to do some of the editing, they weren't funny enough. You're funny.
Right.
I think you could just do a course on how to edit video funny alone, because there's so many different areas there. I don't know.
How to edit comedy to be funny.
Right.
There you go.
Okay, so I'm using 2 carrots, and I'm going to chop these suckers up.
Rough choppers or small?
Oh, rough. Good question.
Borscht is like a stew, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so you're going to be doing the root vegetables and the big chunky stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
Amen.
Pure guess on my part. Love it when I get it right. All right.
You had borscht before, Charlene?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I like yellow beets. I don't like red beets.
Yeah.
I'm making borscht with red beets. So what you guys haven't missed anything. For anybody who's joined us, thanks for being here.
Yeah, sorry, I was just paying attention to the beets.
Yeah. I've been like typing in the side comments. Thank you for coming. Thanks for stopping by. Yes.
So the first thing I did was I boiled the beets. I boiled the beets just soft enough to be able to stick a fork in them. Like this. Now
that took way too much. That is not soft.
Peel the carrots. I'm going to chop the carrots. A rough chop, right, Charlie?
That's
Charlie.
Make
right,
sure,
Charlie.
Yes. Make sure you put the sound effects with it.
Right.
I'm getting involved. Here's one of my Post-it notes. Can you read that, or is it backwards?
I'm in a reality where failure doesn't exist.
Awesome.
Oh, so true, so true. Hey, by the way, guys, if you're listening to this, please feel free to tell a little bird. Maybe we could get some more people coming into
Rough
here.
chop on greens.
The greens.
Oh, nice.
The greens.
I've never
thank you,
thoroughly washed
in the
first.
greens of the beet.
Thoroughly washed. I should probably wash them again because they're probably easier. Actually, I want more greens. I'm going to chop a few more greens.
Okay, so
Thank you, Michael.
how else can we monetize making borscht?
I think she could get an ebook potentially. I mean, as well as
you always do an ebook.
Yeah.
Do you have a blog now?
I have a blog, but it's just videos.
All right. So here's one thing that you could do is you could have each video transcribed and then edit it, and you've got a series of ebooks.
Indeed.
Really?
Okay, so
Indeed.
you can have them transcribed in two ways. Depends on how much money you want to put into it. You could go to rev.com. They're reasonable transcription service. Or if you have the time and the wherewithal to edit yourself, you can upload to YouTube, right? Yeah. And put closed caption on it, and it transcribes it for you.
Yep.
Well, the videos are definitely on YouTube already.
Well, then they're already closed caption. So it's a matter of just going to the closed caption and copy pasting the transcription and then editing from there. Yeah, really.
I'll just say one thing about YouTube closed caption from my experience is that it doesn't always get the right words there. Maybe that's changed in the last couple of years.
That's why I'm saying if you have the wherewithal and the ability to edit, that's the cheap route to go. The do-it-yourselfer. But yeah, you've already
just
got
say
an
real
ebook
quick,
there.
if anybody wants to take my seat, and brainstorm here with my mastermind buddies, and Charlene, thank you so much for joining. Feel free to go ahead and put it in the comments and let me know. I'm just gonna go ahead, Ruthie. You were about to say something. Sorry.
So Charlene, what are some of the ways you monetize your business?
Ebooks, personal one-on-one consultations, mastermind groups, selling of actual training products done by somebody else because I don't have the time to keep up with everything. So I buy it when it's current and I resell it.
Okay.
Oh, how else do I monetize? Training in person. I do one-on-ones in person and in classroom settings through the universities here in town. I don't care for that as much because I'd rather not have to travel anyplace. And then I also host I get sponsorship monies, which I'm currently doing. It's brand new. So if you're interested, come talk to me. I host a weekly business networking meeting on Wednesdays at 9:00 Eastern time, virtual. No.
Totally separate.
This is completely different. I'm talking about you're familiar with business networking groups, face-to-face, correct? BNI, Gold Star Referral.
Right.
You got your business group that got really pissed off at BNI, so they started one on their own. They didn't like the rules, right? So that's face-to-face. You're restricted to your location. How far can you drive for it, right? What I host is on Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Eastern time. That's after the Think and Grow Rich. 9 a.m. Eastern Time on Wednesdays is a virtual business networking meeting. Lasts 1 hour. It has structure. We have presenters. By the way, either one of you interested in presenting, contact me. Be happy to talk to you about doing that. It's free to attend. It's free to present. It's really, really inexpensive to sponsor a meeting. And I offer sponsorships in 2-week and 4-week formats, or longer if you want. Target market is any person who is in sales that has customers nationwide, solopreneurs, anybody who has business online and wants to connect with professional business owners and business people around the country, rather than be restricted to, I have to drive across town in order to get my peoples.
Yes.
So that's another way that I monetize.
Awesome.
Awesome. Fantastic.
I'm glad you guys got a chance to see you and meet you, Charlene.
Yeah, Charlene, I think I've seen you before, but like I don't think I really got like a full Charlene experience.
I had just dropped in on yours. I dropped in on your blab to kind of get a feel for what was going on. You were doing a recruiting for a mastermind group, I think. So, which was fine. I didn't want to deviate from I didn't want to take away from what you were doing. Mike, man, I think you're awesome. I don't know, is that good or bad to get the full Charlene experience? no extra. I choose to take that sounds a little, my friend. Yeah, Mike's a cool guy. Mike's a good guy. Yeah.
So I chop the carrot like this.
Oh, okay.
Just however they end up is good. Yeah.
So it all ends up looking red, right?
God, yeah, they should.
Red. At the end, the bush all looks red.
Yeah, it's really red.
Well, beets do that to anything they touch.
Exactly. That's why you can use it for makeup, lipstick, and blush. Beets are good for.
That's right. People use it for dyes, clothing dyes. It will not come out.
Wow.
Mike, did you do another epic fail? Oh, you're funny. Yes, you did.
Mike, do you want to jump in? I'm just going to read off.
All right.
So if anybody wants to jump in,
Clarissa. Yes. At one point, I thought about getting in touch with the tourist boards, because what I want to do with Cooking Adventures is to go to countries that most Americans don't go to, or that nobody really goes to. Okay. Like Afghanistan would be great, right? But that's not going to happen. But or it could. I don't know. That could happen if I could be safe alone. But what about reaching out to like the Poland's tourism board and seeing if they hook me up with info, like get me over there. And then I make these videos for them.
Well, that's a start. There's absolutely nothing wrong with making an inquiry. I would back it up with a plan B that says, oh, you're not interested in bringing me, so let's see. Let me talk to some of your members. Because if it's the tourism board, they have a membership. They're membership supported, generally speaking. So just like a chamber of commerce, they're going to have a membership list. So really, ultimately, what you're going to want to do is to get in with that membership list in some way. Now, if I'm fleshing out some of the conversation here, but so the first thing is you contact that country's tourism board, association, whatever it is. Then you say, I really want to get in front of your membership because this is what I want to do. Can you help me? Right. So then they say, well, we can't just sell you our list. No. How about I do a show for them about how to showcase how awesome they are. And I don't know, take it from there. But so now you've gotten the conversation to the point where you might do a free show, free webinar, an example video, do a live stream like this. You know, it's nearing Halloween. The knife is perfect. We just need the beet juice on it. We just need the beet juice.
And with the beet juice.
Yes, get the beet juice. There you go. Good girl. Good girl. All right. So,
can't see.
All right. So, but I mean, you could actually, I would have no problem just winging it and saying, well, heck, why don't I introduce you to Blab? And then if you could do that, if you could get one of them to come on Blab with you, then contact your closest friends, which is all of us, to come support. Let us know ahead of time it's happening to see if we can't drop in just to fill the room so that they can see and you can say, see up there? We just had 22 people come through and we've only been here for 15 minutes.
Right.
How cool is that? You know, I don't know. It's an idea. So,
and I'm promoting their country.
Or their business in that country. I don't. Again, this is it's brainstorming, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes. Okay. It's opening my brain.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. I didn't know that. So then, wait a minute. So we're not going to give you our list, and then I go, no, I don't want your list. I just want to talk to them.
I want to get in front of them. I want to meet them. I want to somehow meet them. Do you have a mechanism for me to meet them? Well, yeah, you'd have to join and then you come to our meetings. Well, that's not going to happen. But you know what? They have Skype for classrooms. So maybe we could do Skype for businesses through you. I don't know. Or do you have learning sessions set up for your members? You know, how do you offer what comes with? You could always look up ahead of time to see what comes up, what becomes a part of the membership. But you just keep the conversation going, because ultimately what you want to know is, how can I make money from your people? And I have, you know, and that's what I'm thinking right now is I have to be in front of or working with your people. So I have to meet them somehow. And if that means that I have to introduce myself through a program like what you're doing right now, Ruthie, or through a webinar, introducing yourself. This is who I am, what I do. Here's some snippets of where I've been to this point and the things that I do. And this is ultimately where I want to end up. And I'd love to have you be a part of it. How can we work together?
Okay.
Beautiful carrots. Nice.
Nice, right? Orange.
Yeah.
Oh, well, orange and yellow, my favorite colors.
Really? What's your favorite color, Monty?
Purple.
Purple. Very royal. That's right. We went through that. Daryl, what's your color?
Blue.
Blue. Mine's red.
Why does that not surprise me in the least? Doesn't at all.
What, the red? Yeah.
Fits her personality, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And of course, she's really attracted to borscht, right?
Right.
Borscht. Yeah. How about you,
Charlene?
Charlene?
Your turns. What about me?
Yep. Come on, chime in, Monty.
In terms of the monetization?
Yep.
Yeah, anytime.
Your turn. Surely to goodness I've given you something to go off of.
I really do think you could definitely do a lot more shows. I mean, not a lot more shows, but really like host a longer segment of a show, because the way the monetization process, well, not the mastermind process you do in the mornings, I think is awesome. That to me has the ability to be expanded in so many different ways. And back to the whole point I was saying before, I love 8 o'clock in the morning, but then we also have, people in California, we have people in Alaska, we have people all across the world who would love to have something that's just like that. And I was talking to these guys, there's nothing that's going through the book. And I think it's like, just go straight through the book. And it gives you nuggets of things that are not touched on. So to me, that could be sort of a feeder to what you're talking about in your specific time frame. But to me, I love that. I was literally talking to these guys about it, like, hey, you got to be there. This is an awesome show. And and I'm not even there every day, but it's like.
But we love it when you're there, Monty. It's awesome when you're there. You know that. I keep inviting you in. And you know what he says? He says, not here. I haven't taken a shot. Now I've seen you. It does not work, my friend. Now you're going to get from me, just buff it up and go. Right?
This is true.
So Charlene, how many people do you have in the mastermind group?
Well, now, first off, I don't call it a mastermind. I understand that it is. But the reason I don't, now let me explain though. The reason I don't call it a mastermind is that I want people to think of me as doing mastermind groups for that which you pay entry to.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So it is, and I don't want the mix up. I want, because I'm clearly defined in the kind of mastermind groups that I hold. It's okay that everybody else is calling it a mastermind, but it's actually just called a morning mindset.
Nice.
And I won't put any of that behind a paywall. And honestly, I can't, because we're doing Napoleon Hill's book and I would have to be paying royalties. So yes, very nice.
Using his format.
Okay, so question I have, simple question, mainly because I hate doing dishes, is so why did you not just dump the carrots once they were cut into the borscht or the beet juice or whatever, but put them into a separate bowl?
Yeah, no, because I have to take the beets out and I have to grate them.
Okay.
And I add part of that water into soup. So the next step is, perfect segue, Charlene, thank you, is potato. I'm going to be cubing, like the size of dice, potatoes, and I'll boil that, and then I'll pour everything into that.
Okay.
Good question. I don't know. I'm just doing what they taught me in Moscow.
That's the only way to do it.
When a Russian person tells you what to do, you just do it. No questions.
Okay, fair enough.
There you go.
So anyway, having said that, I've explained why I do the morning mindset, but what it has done for me is it has increased my level of credibility and authority with the people who are following me. And it's because I show up every day. I'm consistent in how I run the show. When I deviate now, I'm actually called out by somebody in the comment area. Even in the after program, I got called out the other day. And a big question, right? I don't understand why you're talking about this. Charlene is usually so religious about staying on track.
Right. No,
Called out.
And
I'm learning, I got to meet the expectations of my audience, right? But all of that comes together so that when I do talk on other blabs like this one or elsewhere, and I talk about what I do in my business and what I offer, people have already gotten a chance to see me in action, to know how I run things, especially when it comes to the mastermind groups, which I run with a pretty tight ship, similar to the morning mindset. You know how I run a blab, then you know what to expect when you get into a situation where you're with a group of people and I'm in charge. So,
all right. So the next thing I'm going to add is potatoes, but I need more. But I'm going to add red potatoes and the white potato. Sorry.
Is there a difference?
We're really judging you right now.
Yeah, there's a difference in potatoes.
Yeah. We're really judging you. Hey, Michael, thanks for coming back.
Yeah, there's different boiling points. And well, that's okay, because you dice one and cube the other, right?
Yeah, I'm going to do something. Anyway, home cooking is not perfect.
Yeah, as Monty jumps up to leave, like I just want to, or wherever he's going. Yeah, I used to run mastermind groups back in Columbus, and I've been thinking, I was trying to, like, when I first got on Blab, do like a morning brainstorm, very similar to what you're talking about, but like just didn't have enough of an audience there. But
yeah, you got to build up the audience.
My experience. Yeah, my experience with masterminds is that the ones that work, they do have a very set schedule, a very set pattern of how they do things and stuff. And Ruthie does an excellent job kind of running stuff on our mastermind, our little thing, and keeping us on track and whatnot. And then there's ones where people just kind of, let's just talk about ideas and stuff. And those are just time sucks, because like if you're talking about a certain subject for, an hour, and then you don't realize that people have to go after that hour, then your credibility goes down the hill very quickly. In my opinion. But go ahead.
Well, I've been running Mastermind since 2009, and the expectations are set ahead of time. And if and actually in the member agreement, it is that we end on time, even if that means you have to cut me off. We end on time. So what can happen is after we've been around for a while, we've been working together a while, the group's moving along, and this happens, and I've had one running since 2009 that I didn't start, but I took over. And what'll happen is everything's gelling and moving along, and then suddenly one of the members says, we're getting close. We're about 5 minutes. I look, cut me off. It's exactly what we should do, because it's respectful of everybody who's there.
So I got a question directly related but not related. Do you guys see that little icon that's on the right side, the tell a little bird icon?
The icon or the GIF?
Make sure to tell a little bird. Is that a commercial?
No, I was curious.
Right.
Something like that actually worked for, I mean, well, obviously not Blab, but just in general for, I'm trying to think of putting on your site or putting it out there as something you could have in general.
Oh, it's a share button, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so you could have just get a customized share button that makes it fun and catchy. So whatever videos, whatever paywall, whatever it is that she's going to do that says, I need you to share this for me, make it fun to share. Like this is Tell the Little Bird, but you could come up with a catchy little phrase and get a nice little graphic on the button, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, that's easy. That's easy on the website.
In our mastermind group that you probably have an answer to.
Pardon me?
How do you manage your time during the week?
Excellent. This was brought up today.
Because all these strategies you're telling me, like even if I, got the eureka, that's the one I should do.
Yep, that's the only one you focus on.
How am I going to do this?
So what does the average week look like for you, Charlene? I think is what she's trying to ask.
Time management.
Oh, well, it's me management.
Yes.
I don't have control over time. I tried that as an engineer. It doesn't work. Just so you know.
I like that. Management.
It's
how do you avoid
management.
Object syndrome?
Well, you can't do that if you're focused on the one thing.
I have to read the one thing.
I'm serious. So this project,
good point.
Yes.
Right, is the one thing you're going to focus on. Am I right? Or do you have, how many other things do you have going that generate revenue? Generate revenue because you have to keep your doors yours, right? You want to keep that kitchen yours, right?
Yes.
Okay. So that's my thinking. I have my business and I have my list of things that, this is revenue generating activity.
Yes.
In some way, it's related to my business and what I do. Then I have my bowl of ice cream that I share with my husband, or I go out onto the back deck with my husband, or I have me time, I have fun time. But honestly, because I work when I want to and how I want to, it's spread out. So I have a lot of free time in between. I can take my naps. I can go read a book. I can do a lot of things that I don't like, other things that would probably be good for me. But honestly, it's managing me, and it's deciding that which is important right now. So I have my list of things and I have my ultimate goal and I have my little goals to get there, but I have to decide on a daily basis if what I'm doing right now is aligned with who I am, with my business, and with my life. What am I doing right now and what does it benefit me? See, I had to make the decision to walk away from my own kitchen to be in here.
Really?
I made that decision and I felt called in, but I could have easily said, I really have to go. Now, what I did was I did a quick run into the kitchen and stirred the chili and said, I made a promise to the husband now. I made the promise, right? That I will make my chili for him. He's working outside and it's really cold outside. And that's what he asked for this morning. I said, all right. So how am I going to do that? What do I need? What did I need to do today for my business? And I chunked it out in little bits of time. And honestly, I wouldn't have come back had I needed to do something else to the chili, but it's done now. So I came back and now I'm on here. I'm in my free time right now. There's nothing calling to me. All the things that I wanted done, I spent about an hour on my list today. That's all I needed to do was an hour. There's been other days I've spent 4 hours directly related to the business, but I do it on purpose. So that way I'm in control, and I feel like I'm in control. I know it's an illusion. Please don't destroy my illusion. But I feel like I'm in control because I'm managing me. I'm the one that's saying yes. Even when it's a must or a have to, I'm the one, when I'm the one that's saying, yes, I will, then it's all on me, and I don't feel that kind of pressure, and, I don't feel as stressed.
Got it. Thank you. Me management. That's
me management. Monty, I can't hear you.
Monty, did you mute yourself?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Get out.
There you go.
Well, what were you saying? Oh,
he's gone.
Oh, I think he was trying to say he's getting out. Okay.
Oh,
well, fine, Monty.
Okay.
I'll just.
I guess that was a long way of saying I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Maybe he rebooted. No, I still see him up there.
Yeah.
Now he's going to sit back and laugh
he's still hanging out.
So I cubed.
So we would love to.
You cube?
They're not all.
Okay.
But
awesome.
the potatoes that I'm going to boil soon.
Are you talking about the 28 questionnaire? 28 questions questionnaire? I have reviewed it.
That up.
Yes, I have reviewed it. And actually, that was part of what I did this morning in relation to a different video, which was a training video that I spent I think it was like 12 or 13 minutes of video that was directly related to common struggles and common issues of being a business owner and what we do to ourselves. And part of it's distractions. Part of it is, not having clearly defined goals. Part of it is, meeting management and what have you. And part of it was directly related, the kind of question. She was doing 10, and they were actually similar to the 28. I have not done it formally, but I will because I really like it.
What questions are you talking about, Terrell? 28 questions.
Are you asking me?
Oh, these are the two you're going to do it
Charlene.
With. Well, then I'm not, should I say anything, Monty, or should I leave the surprise to you?
Ah, there's a surprise in on hand, huh?
This is what he's going to do with you two, a little more formally.
Oh,
don't want to spoil this.
It's actually, it is an excellent review of yourself and your business and pointed questions and it's directly from Think and Grow Rich. It's directly from the book.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Is it something you do daily?
No, this is something you do annually or semi-annually. No, it's too intense for a daily.
So for people who just joined us, I'm making borscht, Russian borscht that I learned to make in Moscow. It uses beets. Beets are usually bigger than this, but this is the size that they have at the supermarket. Beet greens. I chop those and wash them, but this is just for handling right now. And you're going to need some carrots, chopped carrots, rough chop, right, Charlene? And some potatoes. Now I'm boiling the water because I forgot one more ingredient that is involved for this step of the process, and it is
cabbage. Love cabbage.
Cabbage. Yes, right, cabbage. So I got to chop that.
And that'll be a thin, right? Thin chop.
We're also talking about. We're also masterminding a little bit and brainstorming, and as she cooks a delicious meal for us virtually here, and Charlene's been just giving nuggets left and right here on how to monetize there. So thank you, Charlene, for jumping in. If anybody else wants to go ahead and have a seat, that would be great. Monty's in the background. Monty, maybe you want to take over checking comments or something. I don't know.
Oh no, Daryl's putting you to work, my friend.
Yeah, because that's what I've been doing. Like I've been like kind of half listening to Charlene, watching the comments, there, you know. Anyway, Pedro, thank you so much for joining. Go ahead, Ruthie. Continue.
Thanks for joining, Pedro. So here are the beets after you cook them.
Okay.
This is what they look like. They look like rubies, diamonds,
Yep.
diamonds. They have all these facets on them from where I, whatchamacallit it. And we will be grating those later.
So you have to wait for them to cool down, right?
Soup.
So my question, so why are you,
yeah, I guess so.
Do you know why you're grating instead of throwing them into a blender or food processor and doing a quick pulse?
Because that's how Natalia did it.
You got to do it the authentic way.
She did. And I'm not gadget one. I don't love gadgets.
Yeah,
I like to have my hands on the ingredients so it makes it tactile and I feel like I'm involved in the recipe. Feels more. Yeah.
Okay.
If I were in a rush, maybe, but then you got to clean the gadget.
Yeah.
That's annoying.
But it's fun. It's fun to hear the motors go.
Potatoes, carrots, and now I'm going to grate. I'm going to chop.
All right. So Daryl, you had said like early on about before I even came on. Let's see here. You were talking about changing how you're doing things because you were doing social media, right? And then you love live stream so much, you were wondering, I was wondering if you were talking about, did you want to brainstorm about how you could monetize live streaming?
Yes. That's what. That's what these two have been getting on me for a while now. I mean, I have a book on Periscope out right now. It's called How to Use Periscope for Small Business. And the thing about that, there's a couple things I need to tweak and edit on that. But the second volume has Ruthie's face on the cover there because she's awesome. And that's one aspect. But I want to actually move into starting to train people on how to do different things. I just came back from Periscope, so thank you. See, I'm probably the worst self-promotional person.
I get that. That's how I am with me.
Without a doubt.
Other people.
So like they have to remind me to like promote myself most of the time.
Daryl knows everything about Periscope. He was on it from day one. He periscopes like every morning from his car to the gym and then from the gym back to his car. And uses it. He's always on Blab. He's a Blab addict. He's just like, hey, before our mastermind meeting, you want to just jump on and have a quickie? He's always on it. He loves it. He knows what he's doing. I interviewed him on my blog for people who are doing one-person shows on how to use it to promote your show and get the word out.
So
he's well.
What part do you want to monetize then?
I think what I would like to get into is teaching courses on how to use the different platforms. Hey, James, if you want to take a seat, you'd be a great person to sit down for this.
So what does the teaching look like? Is it teaching or actual one-on-one or group training?
I was thinking like more courses like Udemy there and that type of thing initially, and then if you want some more one-on-one training, we could take it to a different platform and kind of go in that direction as well. And Stephanie wants to actually have a seat. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you. Oh, okay. There we go.
Oh, lovely chop on the cabbage.
It is.
Okay.
On the cabbage.
All right, Stephanie is just showing people Blab right now, so that's great.
Okay.
Cut it in half.
Anyway.
Beautiful. Looks awesome.
For Boomy or Donald, feel free to have a seat.
Yes.
So for the people who just came in, Ruthie is cooking borscht, and everybody else is kind of talking about how do you monetize there. Charlene does a daily mastermind group here. Well, we don't really call it a mastermind group.
I call it morning mindset.
Like morning mindset. And she's giving us a lot of great ideas there. So anybody who wants to sit down, go ahead and have a seat. But go ahead, Charlene. You're questioning me a little bit. Sorry. Go ahead.
So we have a comment from the bullpen. Is it possible, Ruthie? Oh, yum. For you to move your camera slightly to your left so that it covers more of the prep area or the stove? It's like a lot.
Less of the.
There you go. Great
Yes.
idea, Mr. Michael D. Second.
Yeah, good idea.
Thank you. He's interested. If you have any questions about the recipe, I'm happy to tell you. You know, I just figured people aren't really interested. So this is my
Looks
pot.
like a
I don't know
quart.
how many quarts this is.
No,
but
it looks like, yeah, maybe a 6-quart.
Nadim's a sitter. Go ahead and sit, Nadim. We're brainstorming a little bit. And cooking borscht at the same time.
Yeah, cooking borscht with a very imprecise recipe.
But it's the real recipe from
Russia. What I got.
Because you were there.
It's an authentic recipe.
Exactly.
Okay.
Oh, Donald wants to sit.
Okay.
I'm trying to let you in, Donald.
This amount of potatoes, and I'm going to put that in the water to heat up.
Okay, so we got to figure out.
Everybody, feel free to. Hey, Donald.
Hi, Donald.
Hi.
How you doing? Good. How is Denmark today? Is that where you're at right now?
Yeah.
Denmark, you're going to teach us how to monetize from Denmark? That's wonderful.
I'm a marketing genius.
Donald.
So, Donald.
Awesome. I'm putting water.
So you're an American living in Denmark. You got connections in the tourist industry there?
Yeah, you can come and sleep on my couch.
No, do you have connections in the tourist industry there, like the tourism board or association or any of the tourist places there?
And we're kind of half serious, half joking at this point.
I'm deadly serious for Ruthie.
Yeah.
Are you coming anytime soon?
If you got a plane ticket for me to go and help tourism
One of the ways we came up with, and it has not been fleshed out, is for her to connect with places like Denmark, the Tourism Association or board, and then to begin developing relationships with those in the country that offer touristy type things that could relate to her love of cooking, love of comedy, love of people.
Well, here's what it is. Cooking Up Adventures is where I go around the world and learn how to cook in people's homes, specifically to show that the world, you know, we're all the same. The food is just a way to demonstrate that. And since I went to Russia, there was a lot of interest. And when I came back, because if I did little promo videos, my friends were like, oh my God, I never wanted to go to Russia. But after seeing you there and how much fun you had, now I want to go. So if I went to Denmark, I want to go to places that people don't visit in Denmark to show them that it exists and what the people are like and what the food is like. Ideally, I could go to Afghanistan next. But I don't know if that'll happen. I don't know what their tourist board is. Tourism board is like.
So, Donald, why don't you tell us a little bit about you, and then also, dead serious, if you know anyone on the tourism board or the American embassy there in Denmark, because that would be of interest to Ruthie for sure.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's what we're here to do.
Where our local tourist industry is actually moving to a city called Obenro, and the reason that they're doing that is because it wasn't very advantageous for them to have an office near the Danish-German border. For whatever reason, they just didn't get enough foot traffic into that particular office, so they decided to close it down and move their operation to, like I said, that town called Obenro. And that's about a 30-minute drive from where I live now, which is very close to the German border. And as far as restaurants and the culinary end of their food, it's a lot of meat and potatoes, a lot of
stick to your rib stuff, right?
Recipes.
Nice.
Well, they do have a high production of pork products and corn products here. That's a couple of their main industries: swine production or pork production, and raising corn. And they call it maize, like the Indians.
M-A-I-Z-E, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Nice.
How it is in Spanish too.
All right,
maize.
Sounds like Ruthie and Donald need to connect, right?
But I'm doing
somehow.
For sure.
Remember, we're recording this. You can go back and take notes.
I'm doing a cooking show where I'm actually showing how to do some of the traditional Danish recipes, like flæskesteg and brown, caramelized potatoes and things like that.
Oh, the Irish in me loves that.
Ooh, nice.
Do anything with potatoes, I'm happy. That's why I'm ready to try borscht. You put potatoes and cabbage in there. It's a happy day for me.
I spent many years cooking in a restaurant, in a couple of restaurants down in Newport Beach, California, when I lived in California.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you're American.
I was married to a Danish woman for 18 years. No, I didn't move here for love. I moved here for family reasons. I had an ill relative, so wanted to be.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
No. We were pen pals. We actually wrote longhand writing to each other for 2 years before the internet was around.
Oh, wow.
And so
interesting story.
I knew her for 2.5 years before I even got to meet her in person.
That's true love. What happened,
18 years of marriage. That's what happened.
Oh.
Yeah. No, it's honestly, we're still good friends, and we just have different things in our lives that we want to do. We've got different directions we want to go, and that's okay with both of us. So,
of course. Marriage was created when people only live to like age 29.
Yeah.
Just real quick, I want to say hi to Sean and super fan Joseph, who just joined. Anybody else who just joined here recently, thank you guys so much for joining. As you can see, Ruthie is cooking above. We've got Donald, who's here from Denmark. We've got Charlene dropping great advice. Where are you at, Charlene, again?
I'm near Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay, near Louisville, Kentucky. I'm from Ohio. So
you're from Ohio.
Not
awesome.
Too far. I'm from Ohio. I'm physically in Phoenix right now.
Okay.
But, yeah. But
cabbage.
Awesome.
I'm a visual. You can keep talking.
Anyway, would love to have anybody take my seat here because I'm just kind of co-hosting. We want to keep Ruthie in there and stuff, but we want to continue to kind of brainstorm a little bit. But Donald, tell us a little bit about how do you monetize for your business, and tell us a little bit more about your business, maybe.
Well, what I do in the cooking is kind of like a hobby for me because I cook for myself every day, anyways. So I don't eat it out very often at all. So when I'm cooking for myself, I come up with a few different recipes of my own. But the fact of the matter is that my real passion is the business. I like to design and build custom furniture, and I also like to design and build energy-saving appliances.
Cool.
Awesome.
So,
nice.
Fantastic.
You build them? Like what? Can you give us an example?
I designed a cabinet that doesn't damage your clothes when you dry your clothes. So there's no tumbling action. You just hang your clothes up in a cabinet, and the air passing through the clothing actually dries them.
That's the best way ever. I envision like you've got 10 blow dryers. Like 10 blow dryers run off of solar energy, and
it's big enough to, like, if you were to take a regular wash load out of your washing machine and hang up the clothes that are in it, you would be able to put the whole load into the cabinet. And just the nice thing about it is,
you're talking like four pair of slacks, maybe 3 or 4 blouses, a handful of socks, and what else I got in there? A sweater or 2.
10 towels.
No. Well, then we could go into the towels and the sheets.
But that's another thing. What I was doing is, because I was working on the prototypes for the last 5 or 6 months, I wanted to make sure that I come up with a design that is available for different size, families, because obviously there's a difference between what I'm going to wash and what one of you might want to wash. There might be a big difference in the capacity. So, yeah.
So are these ready to go sell? Are they commercial ready? Or
one of the major problems is just getting the underwriter's laboratory and all the.
I was going to ask about the UL.
Yeah, to get all the specifications approved and be able to sell them in the United States. So that's just something that's still on the burner.
Okay, and have you patented?
That's a hard hurdle to get over because there are so many regulations. You know.
Yeah. And do you have a patent?
No, it's not necessary. I mean, there's already companies that are making something similar, but their machines are using like probably 10 times the amount of electricity and a lot of materials.
So a patent protects your interests.
Yeah, but there's the point in time when it becomes important to just get it on the market.
Okay.
So the patent can come later down the
road
when it's if it ever went to a point where it was like really important or there was an IP offered or something, then I would definitely go and apply.
People, I need advice. Should I just do the whole
I'm an onion gal. I always use the whole onion.
Let's do the whole onion. I'm an onion guy here.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to saute this. All right, onions can't hurt. Thank you. Any votes out there? Whole onion. Whole
Ruthie,
onion.
I was going to ask you too on those beets. Do you use the greens from the beets as well?
Yes, the greens from the beets, from the beets. Yes,
well, she's beet.
Right here.
So nothing goes to waste.
I chop them. No, it's Russia.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We use the whole pig here in Denmark too.
They waste nothing. They eat bear. They eat bear and pythons and horse.
I knew about the horse.
Yeah, no joke. Yeah,
I wouldn't eat no bear, but the bear might eat me.
Bear is awful greasy.
So Monty just commented like the beet that tripped me out. The beets. Did you mean bear? Because beets don't trip me out. Eating bear kind of does. Like I don't know.
Bear, horse.
See, all of that's okay except
snakes.
Horse, because I love horses as friends.
Horse.
Come on.
No, I understand that. I'm just saying that's that wouldn't work with me. I mean, it would if I have to. Trust me.
Yeah,
or cat or something that I'm used to having a domestic relationship with, so to speak.
Bunny web.
Oh no, she's frozen.
Hey, JR.
Oh no, you froze.
Oh crap.
Oh, she's unfreezing a little bit.
She just sped right up for me.
Yeah, she's working again. For those who just joined here,
move the camera back, Ruthie. Move the camera back, dear.
Yeah,
thank you.
Ruthie. Yeah, there you go.
Beautiful. Yes, onions look awesome.
Fantastic.
Okay, I'm sorry.
She's not on Team Apple.
Okay.
Hey, midterm Millenario.
So what I'm thinking is Daryl has effectively deflected us from him.
Yes, he does that. How can we get Daryl to monetize his expertise?
So
this guy's always on the
he wants to monetize his knowledge of live streaming. And we've already talked about you're going to be doing some trainings or teachings using Udemy, correct?
Yeah, that is kind of the plan, to go ahead and put a course on Udemy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then what can you do outside of that? Because it's going to take a while. I don't know. It could happen overnight.
Are you doing a podcast?
I'm not doing a podcast. However, we're trying to get to the point where me and another blabber are kind of coming out with a regular nightly thing right now. We just call it the non-expert show. But yeah, we don't do a good. I mean, we just kind of started this past week or so. So we're trying to get better at doing the cross promotion, because I am a terrible self promoter.
Yes,
and
you are.
I need to get
you're
better
just like
at
me.
that. So.
I'm terrible at it myself. I can promote you. You can promote me, but I can't promote myself. Yeah.
And that's exactly why, Charlene's a great person to go to in the mornings if you're on the East Coast and need a mastermind group to hang out with, and Ruthie's a great person to learn video from, I think, and also how to be funny, like humorous video and stuff. She knows how to edit it for that, but she's also a great mastermind facilitator as well. And then and Donald, yeah, absolutely.
I'm literally referring to my video on how to do this.
So it's not something rolling off the top of your head, huh?
The third time I've made
I thought you were like an old pro.
But you're still honoring the recipe. I'm impressed. See, usually the third time I've mucked it up with my own tweaks.
Oh, that's cool.
But no, what are some suggestions there, Charlene? I'd love to get suggestions on other ways I can monetize knowledge.
What problem are you solving?
Lack of knowledge on how to live stream mobile.
On the how to live stream, or why should you live stream? Do you have to educate first? Because you have to think of your target market. Do they already know what live streaming is? If they already do, then they need to know how to do it. But if they're not familiar with live streaming and the various platforms, because there are others than Blab, then think in terms of educating them about live streaming. So then you would get into what I would recommend is getting into webinars with joint ventures and be a co-presenter on somebody's webinar. And that way you have access to their list.
Good idea.
So what
I'm trying to find a pen right now.
Let's see, what you would do there is essentially you would agree to either have access to their list, or in exchange for you being on their webinar to teach their people about live streaming and why they should do it, they will in turn provide you with so many solo emails ads to their people. It's an idea.
I love
and that
it.
way, so now you have, of course, you're going to have a landing page or a funnel to send them to, and product. But that could be one way that you do it.
I have a question to add to that. Daryl, what city do you live in?
I live in Phoenix currently. Phoenix,
Arizona. You know, one of the things that really does not get very much. What are you doing? You're like grading the beats?
Yeah, she's grading.
Yeah, so I'll show it to you when I'm done. But that's
grading.
Do next.
Just cooking humor. No, I was going to say about Phoenix is the thing that a lot of people that I notice that are into different types of marketing and just basic online activities is a lot of people just kind of ignore the fact that there's businesses all around you in your city that you could just walk in, cold call them and say, hey, I would like to help you with your online presence. And you can get so much work that way. It's amazing how much work you can get. I have got friends that own restaurants here in my local area, and they have not even had Facebook, not Facebook, they have not had Google location. They have not been registered there. That's one of the things that, and the funny thing is a lot of these people, they know it's there. They know that it's a tool. They know that it's in part of their apps, but they don't know how to get connected to it, and they don't know how to, put all the pieces together. And if you have that knowledge, you know how to do it. It's really nice to be able to just go in and cold call a restaurant or a business that's in your area and just get work that way, because it's fast. They get to meet you face to face. They can see that you're a good speaker and that you have a very good understanding of internet goings on, and you can pick up a lot of work that way in a real short period of time.
That's an excellent idea, Donald. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. I'm trying to find a way to write notes. My pen is missing here,
well,
so I didn't want to get out.
This.
Yeah, well, she's recording. I could come back and watch it a little bit later. But
write this down. All you need to do is get up tomorrow and walk out your door, take a right-hand turn, go to the first business that you see, and walk in the door and say, "Hi, I'm Daryl."
Yeah. Amen. Amen. Do it, Daryl.
Okay.
No, it's no joke. It's really that easy.
I get this.
No, and I've done a little bit of that. Yeah, it is recording there for sure. But thank you so much. And Charlene, you had a great idea of just educating people what is live stream, because a lot of people don't even know what that means, right? So educate people.
Yeah, but
live
for example,
stream. And for those who are
a local plumber. If you have a local plumber I always use that as a reference. But if you have a local plumber in your neighborhood, You could walk up into his shop and go into his shop and just basically say, what the heck was that? It looks like one of those little
beat. It's a little beat, but doesn't it look so cool?
Oh,
Would you like?
You know, it looked like to me.
Beat.
What do they call those little the little apples, little crab apples?
Oh yeah, it's like crab apple. You're right.
Yeah. No, what I was going to say though is you could go to your local plumber and just say, you know, what does your web presence, you know, entail? What do you have? And if they go and they tell you, do you, and you ask them, I say, you know, do you have a video on YouTube? And they'll say, and 9 times out of 10, they'll say no. They'll have no video or no information about their business on YouTube. And the nice thing about YouTube is it's there. Once you post something there, it's there for good unless you decide to take it off. And so if you have the knowledge to be able to make a short informational video about a local business, you could be doing that and you could be making bank in a very short period of time. And you can get some really good clients.
Yes, it is. If it's not the largest yet, but yes. Let me go ahead and do this. No, those are great ideas. I'll throw it out again. We've got 15 people here at this point. I'll just kind of recap real quick. Ruthie is cooking borscht. She went to Russia, about a month and a half ago, something like that. June. She went to, oh wow, June. God, I've known you way too long. Anyway, she went to Russia a couple months back.
Boil the potatoes for 5 minutes. Boil the potatoes for 5 minutes.
Is cooking borscht. And we're masterminding at the same time and brainstorming here. Charlene has been with us basically since the start. Yeah, Monty's hanging out in the comments somewhere, helping out as well. And she doesn't speak fluent Russian. This is true as well. Monty's kind of managing the comments. I'll throw this out there. Anybody else who wants to go ahead and take my seat, I'll kind of sit back and
you got half guts.
And we'll learn a little bit more about Donald. Learn a little bit more about Charlene.
Ooh, Gelby erasers? What?
Erasers.
I want half gut.
It's the German word for golden Erbsens. They're like peas. They're gold peas.
Oh.
Instead of green.
Oh.
Do
they taste better than green peas?
They don't really taste much different at all. But you can actually choose to buy these instead to make your pea soup out of.
Ooh, I like gold.
Interesting.
Yeah. So these are the grated beets. I put them in a white so you can appreciate the color. Isn't that nice?
I can eat them like that. I like raw beets. They're tasting very good.
Oh, then that would be nice in salad, right?
No, just like that. I would just eat it like that with some vinegar and some honey.
Ooh.
Very good.
Is that from Denmark?
No, that's from me.
Nice. I like it.
That's the Donald touch, right?
Yeah. Well, there's one thing that I can tell you that I've made since I moved to Denmark, and it really freaked my mother-in-law out. When I first came to their house, I grabbed a piece of toast and I slapped some blue cheese on the toast. And then I took some raspberry jam and I put it on top of that, and I took a big bite out of it. And she's like, my God, what is that? But when she tried it, she was like, wow, this is really good.
Yeah, that would be good.
That is really good.
Blue cheese and raspberry jam.
I like it.
That sounds good.
It is good. Because you have the contrasting flavors on the same piece of bread.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
Love it. Love that.
Back to Daryl, who has deflected us again.
Daryl? Really? I did that?
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Does that.
I need to be in charge, so I just jumped in, right?
What is your forte?
Who?
Sure, you. What is your background? Are you a brain surgeon, or do you practice this type of work all the time? It's not the pitch.
This type of work?
It's not the pitch, it's the value you offer. Marketing, research, trainer, speaker, mastermind groups.
Yeah, I moderate mastermind groups. Been doing that. Moderate and facilitate since 2009. But my background is marketing online and offline since the 80s. In the 90s, I decided to do something different. So I went into robotic engineering, Did that for about 10 years. Then got out of that and went back into internal. I went corporate world for a while there. And then finally just said to heck with it and started my own business. Focuses on business research. So competitive intelligence, industry research, business profiles and such. And then
up to the robotics.
What about the robotics?
Yeah. So do you know like the code for writing code for robotics, or are you on some other sales end of it? Or were you doing like some of the code?
I was a field engineer.
Oh, okay.
And so I was a high-tech mechanic. I actually taught myself Fortran back in the 80s. And because nobody told me I couldn't. And then I taught myself BASIC. Okay, I started with Fortran, and then I said, oh, well, I want this little compact portable computer in the office to do something, and nobody knows how to do it. Well, by God, I'll figure it out. But I was in marketing then. And so, thank you, Monty. And so anyway, after I got out of marketing, essentially what happened was I got tired of working with people. So I wanted to just work with machines, and went into electronics, and then got attracted to robotics and was a field service engineer for quite a few years. And we were using, the programming there was, it went from assembly language to C++. And but not a whole lot of it, because most of it was done elsewhere. I was the one in the field making sure things worked and making changes as needed to whatever programming was on site, if that pertained to what the problem was.
Okay.
So
the reason I asked this,
go ahead.
I had some experience with robots in a company that I worked with here in Denmark that was welding robots, and they were pretty amazing because there were so many of them running at the same time. It was just a mind-blowing experience. There was seven robots running at the same time, and I had to kind of babysit all of them at the same time. It was really a pretty stressful job.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not just, a lot of people think that the kind of job you just described is just to sit and watch, and when something stops, you go turn it back on. It's not. Especially when they're integrated. Were they integrated? Were they integrated in a series, or were they parallel? Do you know?
There was, okay, I can explain what they basically did. There was a big container that you would ship, all of your fruits and vegetables around the world, and these were cooler containers. They had to come down to a certain temperature for, like, tuna fish even. They had to be down to a certain temperature. So there was aluminum and steel and stainless steel all combined into the same containers because of all these different materials. So the basic project that would happen is there would be like a punkslice. It's basically a spot welding system where the panels would be tilted up into place, and then robotics would come in and just do a little punkslice, a little spot weld. Then it would be picked up and it would be put into my my stall, and this big huge shaft would just go right down into the container.
Yeah.
And it had two aluminum welding robots on the side of it, and it was all done by sensors, and it would follow a seam, and it had to weld a perfect seam the full length of the container. But at the same time that was happening, there was 4 spot welding machines going down the sides on the outside, welding as it went down.
So it's a multifunction cube.
Yeah.
Because
and then
the multifunction assembly unit is where you were sitting.
Yeah, and at the end there was a robotic arm that had a big MIG welder attached to the front of it, and it would just go
right.
And that one would catch the insulation on fire sometimes. So you had the actual added stress of fires breaking out randomly.
Actually, that would have been fun. I'd never worked on stuff like that, the welding stuff and what have you, but that could be fun.
Yeah. But there was 7 machines running all at the same time, and man, crazy.
Yep, that can be stressful, especially when you're part of a system, because what you did was dependent on what the next person was going to do.
Yeah.
Did they have canned tomato sauce over there?
No, it came in like a bag, like those squeezy bags.
Oh.
They had hunks. It looked like hunks. You can check out the video of Cooking Up Adventures on YouTube. I thought it was ketchup. It had the consistency of ketchup, so I may be tossing a little ketchup into this borscht. But here's the water that I boiled the borscht in, the beets in, that I'm going to save to add that later to my mix.
Okay.
Interesting.
This is a good recipe.
Real quick, Ruthie,
Yes.
Monty was asking, is part of that you were throwing in garlic or?
Yeah, no, definitely. Garlic, a lot of garlic.
Okay.
That was garlic that I was chopping. Yes. Borscht has onion, garlic.
Love it.
What do you call this? Cabbage, carrots, potatoes, beets,
Root
and
vegetables.
the beets leaves.
And the beet
It's a lot.
Nice.
So now what I'm going to do is saute the carrots, the onions, and the garlic together.
Yum.
What's with
I
that?
wish we had the
accent,
smell-o-vision.
that dialect? Where'd that come from?
Just getting into
Sunflower
character.
oil. Sunflower oil. That's what she used, so that's what I'm going to use.
Sunflower oil.
Yes.
Ruthie, are you
She's from New York originally.
Huh?
Have you been doing
yeah.
any acting?
For a little while.
She is an actress by trade.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Okay, so let's get back to talking about monetizing because that's the reason we're here, right?
Yes.
Yes. Daryl, did you need any more ideas,
Yes.
or did you come up with any? As we
No.
were talking?
Let's go to Donald.
Come on.
What?
Let's go to Donald.
Daryl, don't deflect. Deflecting Daryl. Daryl the deflector.
There you go. That's his superpower for the day. Daryl the deflector. Exactly.
There you go.
Okay.
So, if you're doing this type and you're asking what about monetization, though, are any of you doing any type of YouTube content creation?
That's not my favorite platform. That's not my best platform.
Okay.
Yeah.
I prefer
And here's the thing.
interaction.
And as you probably already know, Donald, like at the end of this, because it's recorded, Ruthie and maybe even me and Monty, since we're hosts as well, we'll get a little link that says, hey, upload to YouTube and stuff. So we can use this as content
Right.
as well.
Yeah, I upload my
yeah,
morning
you already
mindset.
knew that.
I upload my morning mindset. Well, my assistant does. I send it to her and she uploads it every day. So I've got that going on in a playlist. And then all my blabs, I do that. I upload the ones I record. You do not put all of it in there, Ruthie?
I just want for demonstration purposes. I now put the cabbage that I sliced and chopped into the boiling potatoes.
Excellent.
I'm getting hungry, Ruthie.
I'm liking this recipe.
Let's see.
Yeah, I'm glad I've got the chili in the background.
Very healthy.
Can you drive that over to Phoenix?
Sure. Well, I got to go to Phoenix to cook with your wife, right? Where is she from?
This is true. He's from Papua New Guinea.
Like, what are the odds, right? I got to do.
Fantastic. When are you doing that?
Yeah.
Heading to Moscow.
Come on, when are we doing that? We got to do that before the holidays.
Yeah. She just called me Monty, but it's Daryl, but it's cool.
Sorry, I'm cooking. My brain is twisted.
No, you got a lot going on. I don't know. Whenever you want to stop by, feel free. Hey, the Jazz Lounge, DJ Sherry. There. Anyway, as far as YouTube, do you use YouTube a lot, Donald?
I did there for a long time. I was making basic YouTube tutorial videos, and those were just basically for like a hobby or for fun. But I realized that there were certain videos that were making having more views than others, and the ones that made more views were the ones where I was doing hands-on tutorials on how to solder copper pipe, for example. I mean, that one has by far gotten more views than any of my other videos.
Where are you going, Ruth? Oh, yum.
Oh, okay.
It's all cooking.
Yum, yum.
That's what's happening here.
Nice.
Okay.
That looks good.
All right.
Nice.
So why do you think you put so much attention for those skills?
Well, no, it's basically that people on YouTube are either looking for something like comedy or something that's like a tutorial when it comes to like coding or something. And then they're also looking for tutorials on how to, like how to cook
Any
borscht.
kind of how to.
Yeah, any kind of how to. They love them.
I heard about a man who was making $30K a month just unboxing toys. You didn't see his face, you just saw his hands. He was an executive, and now that's all he does.
Well, but it begins with you have your idea and you put it into place, and then no, those aren't the hands, Donald. So
just trying.
but you be consistent with what you put out, right? You got to be consistent no matter what it is you do. Pick one and do it.
No, you're right. Consistency is the key.
But I don't have a record of that, because I have lots of projects and too many pots, or too many, what's the word?
Too many fires
in the water. Too many oars in the water.
Too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah, too many oars in the water.
Fire, too many irons in the fire. Somebody out there in our audience.
On camera.
Then we have Scruffy. Too many tires on the car.
Too many tires on the car.
Okay, Monty, that'll work.
There you go.
Too many drivers in the seat. Right?
With Periscope, with live streaming, because this guy over here is a live streaming expert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carol, you and
I hate the word expert. That's another thing. I hate the word expert. But yeah.
Well, you don't have to
Illuminate Love.
Just let other people call it. Right. As long as you don't call yourself one.
You
unless it becomes to a point where you really are, because you know so much more than everybody else does, which can happen.
And you're using Manicam, right? Manicam.
Yeah, I'm using Manicam.
I can't. My system, my little hard drive pushes it out there. My AVG calls it a malware bytes. Calls it won't let me load it.
Oh, maybe you have to add it to a
AVG
safe list.
Or malware bytes?
No,
malware bytes? I have that.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what to tell you. Listen, I'm like I'm one of the not one of the presenters. I host that weekly virtual business meeting, right? That business networking meeting. And I can't log in to the site to get all my stuff up on the calendar because I use a very private network. So of course I was showing as coming in from like everywhere except where I am. And it's saying I have too many IP addresses. So there's all kinds of little things that I tend to do technically that kind of upset things. So I just, having said that.
Do you think that sometimes people can be too tech savvy?
Yes. Because we get lost in the tech, lost in the details.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, Ruthie, that looks awesome.
I'm glad somebody answered that honestly. I've asked that before, and people are going, oh, no, you can never have too much tech. But I think that people do, like you said, they get a little bit too into the nuts and bolts, and then they forget about why they're there.
That's right. Yes. That's my shiny objects, gadgets and tech. So I usually pull myself away.
In 20 years, they're going to be saying, remember when one person had to do everything?
This is hilarious. Well, at this point, what I would love to do is like kind of bring back Monty, so you can kind of brainstorm on Monty and his ideas a little bit too. And then, I mean, we've been talking, I don't know, for a decent amount of time. So, Ruthie, how much longer until we get to eat borscht?
That's like 15 minutes. I gotta cook, so I can stay on until this is done. Once I'm done, I'll go off. So I'm gonna be here.
There you go.
Oh yeah,
You'll be here a while.
Cool.
Now I'm at.
Okay, Monty just said no.
Now goes the garlic.
Edward.
So it's all still sautéing, though, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Ma'am. It'll.
Interesting.
Can
Anyway,
I tell you a story about the name Ruth?
Please.
Can I tell you a story about the name Ruth? I have
Go ahead.
I have an aunt named Ruth.
Everybody's got an aunt named Ruth.
No, I really do. My mom's sister's name is Ruth, and I grew up calling her Aunt Sissy, and I never knew why. I called her that from the time I was from the time I could speak. I called her Aunt Sissy, and I never knew why. And all of a sudden, one day, it just out of the blue, I said to my mom, I said, why do you call Aunt Sissy Aunt Sissy? Or why do we call her Aunt Sissy? And he says, that's because your brother Ron could never say Ruth. He would always say Ruth, like that. He couldn't get the TH out for some reason.
Right.
So,
yeah, that's a difficult sound for youngsters.
Yeah. So she just basically said to him, just call me Aunt Sissy because I'm your mother's sister.
There you go.
Oh, nice one.
Yeah. Yep.
There you go.
That's
Awesome.
Who's calling? Who's calling me? I don't know where my phone is. I'll be nearby. Never mind.
So what's
Monty, are you calling her?
I know we've got a good thing.
Monty, are you calling Ruthie?
We've got something where we can add a topic to this one, and it could be what's on Ruthie's refrigerator.
What the hell?
Oh.
Uh-oh. I don't think that was to you, Donald.
What?
I don't.
Somebody that tweeted her something probably.
What's on Ruthie's refrigerator? Oh, okay. If you want to know, I can tell you. Because I got another one.
Yeah, share.
Called the Self-Help Crack House because I'm into self-help. So here we are. This is my family. This is my family right there. This is a photo I took from Easter Island where I did an episode and I learned I fished my own fish.
Oh my!
Cooking properly, and then we cooked it, and I shot an episode there. And this are all the people I tried to create a new family for myself, a positive family, with the middle quote being, "You get in life what you have the courage to ask for." Yes, it's true. You have to ask for what you want. We can't wait till people to give it to us, Daryl. Okay? So I created a new family for myself, a new lineage, which includes, family, right? So it includes. Go ahead, Daryl.
I'm not in that family.
No, you're not. You are
Monty's
in real life.
either.
You are in real life, but these are my mentor families. So Oprah.
Go ahead.
Oprah's my mama. And then Mark Lemonis. Do you guys watch?
Yes. Love Mark.
Every once in a while.
Love
he has
Mark.
integrity. He doesn't take
Process product people.
Oh my God, he's so good.
I
So
live in The Rock. I don't know who that is.
Oh my
He
God.
looks familiar. The face looks familiar, but I just don't remember.
It's a really good show. You would remember because the show rocks.
It's on CNBC, isn't it?
Has he done a TED Talk? Is he ever done a TED Talk?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
He could, but not really. He's not that kind. He's more business. So Greg Lemonis, Mark Lemonis, not Greg Lemonis, and then The Godfather, because he'll kick your ass if you get on me, right? He's overlooking, right? I gotta live like, Marlon Brando's got my back. You know what I mean? Like I don't have to worry about anything because if you mess with me, he's gonna get you. And then Brene Brown, you know her, right? Vulnerability, daring greatly. She's just really smart, really cool. And yeah, she teaches me to live bravely. And then I love Pat Flynn's my brother. He's my brother and he's, a good role model as my brother. And then there's, oh my God, he has a weird name from Steal Like an Artist. Shit, I can't let my borscht burn. Cleon. Austin Cleon is his name. Told you it was kind of weird, but he wrote an amazing book called Steal Like an Artist. If you're an entrepreneur, yes, get it. It's easy to read. It's like a flip book. So good. But basically the premise behind it, which many brilliant minds have said, that nothing new has been invented. Our job is to steal from all sorts of places, and then what we do and how we become creators is taking those ideas and morphing them into something new that is unique and individual.
Because it's part of you.
Exactly. And especially if you really put yourself in it, not just copy it and like change the color. But he's awesome. He's got an awesome blog. And then Chris Gillibo, who's like the godfather of my
World Domination Man.
World Domination Man. He's the one who brought Cooking Up Adventures to life again. He was like, clear, put the paddles on it and brought it back to life because I didn't believe it anymore. But
that was when you went to Portland, right?
Yeah, I've gone 3 times. This is my second time. I was totally depressed, and he had this thing like, where will you be in 2015? And I was like, I'm tired of saying I want an Academy Award. I'm tired of saying I have a TV show. And then I was like, oh, right, that cooking show I love. Let me talk about it. Anyway, out of like however many people shared their vision, I was one of 4 people who were chosen, and he hooked me up with a videographer and all these things to shoot a Russian family to cook with me. But that didn't work out, so I ended up taking myself to Russia. So this is my family, my mentor family here. This is best friend who she directed one of my one-woman shows. And then these are just pictures that make me happy. Happy feet, because I'm a workaholic. I don't know if anybody here can relate. I just work and work and work, and I forget to have fun. So this is just to remind me to have fun. And there's like
awesome.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Thanks, Rob.
Yeah, the Mark Lemonis. Yeah, I have seen him before.
Okay.
I have heard him speak. I think I saw him on a YouTube video once where he was speaking to somebody that was interviewing him. He's pretty smart.
I like the way he works.
Pretty clever dude.
I like the way he works.
Yeah, and look him up on podcasts because he's done a few good interviews that are worth listening to.
Okay,
Mark?
so I'm going to have to look at leaving. Does anybody else want to finish, like, getting me to say something? Or?
Yeah, maybe we could.
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe we could bring Monty back. Charlene, thank you so much for.
You're welcome. I hope you do something with something, whether it's my stuff or somebody else can take it from there and give you some more ideas.
Do you want to tell people about your weekly well, obviously you will because you're a good self-promoter. Yes.
So those who are in the room,
yes.
I have a morning mindset blab at 8 o'clock Eastern time and every weekday morning. Then on Wednesdays, it's an open invitation to anybody here. On Wednesdays at 9 o'clock Eastern time, I am the host of a business networking meeting that occurs virtually. So it's just like any other business networking meeting you've attended in face-to-face situations because it is structured. We have a presenter. By the way, if you're interested in presenting, connect with me. We have a presentation, 20, 30 minutes, followed by Q&A and then intros basically around the table. I use Zoom platform so that we all see each other, so bring your smile. And you introduce yourself. You've got your name, your company, what you do, why you do it, your contact info, your ideal client, or what you're looking for right now. And then there's sponsorship available to sponsor each meeting to get in front of those professionals that attend. Tomato sauce going in. So I can be reached at Charlene@growbecause.com. I am also available as a consultant to assist with strategizing. Thank you, Monty. Strategizing, doing the brainstorming like we did here, and then go from the brainstorm to selecting one idea to fleshing it out, and then getting you up and running with whatever it is that you need to do. So as a consultant, I can do that as well, and other things, but that's my primary focus right now. My mastermind groups, the morning mindset, the weekly business networking group, and consulting.
Cool.
Awesome.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome. I enjoyed. I'm going to go take off now. Hubby will be home shortly, and then we're going to have some chili.
Yeah.
Chili.
Yeah, I'll watch the replay.
Yeah, keep warm in Kentucky.
Chili.
Yep.
I just looked at Charlene's her Twitter page too. It's pretty interesting. It looks like there's some. She's a pretty sharp lady. This is the first time I ever got to speak to her. I've seen her in other labs, obviously, but I've never really got to speak to her one-to-one. I think I would like
put her email there, so if you guys want to go ahead and connect with her. Where's Monty go?
An exceptional marketing expert. Yes, Charlene. Hey, Giorgio.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I'm going to finally add the beets, the grated beets, to my soup mixture.
So this is all down to timing because I've never seen a recipe where all of these ingredients are going in at such a different time. I guess it's because everything's cooking down at different temperatures, obviously.
Yeah, I have to saute this and put that in. I'm going to show you what this looks like. I just put, where the hell is it? I just put the beets in with the cabbage. I feel like
I'm upside down.
Yeah, we are.
I'm upside down.
Hey, Monty, why don't you go ahead and come back in real quick?
There.
Unless somebody else wants to go ahead and have a seat.
That looks really tasty.
While this is sauteing,
there you go.
I think I put too many carrots. I'm glad you guys told me to do the whole onion because I think I put too many carrots.
What you're using? I mean, I just want to have you say it, but you're using a MacBook Pro, Ruthie?
Yes.
Okay.
Where did my magic go?
Pro, MacBook Pro, baby.
Yep.
MacBook Pro. Why? What made you ask that?
Because about an hour ago, I'm not really sure. I'm kind of looking at Daryl's clock thing. Somebody asked what kind of device you were using.
Oh, okay. Yes, MacBook Pro. Shoot. Sorry.
Oh, fine. and Ruthie, about how much longer till the borscht is done? Just out of curiosity.
15, 20 minutes and I'll be done.
Okay. Sounds
So
good.
you literally have to make them in two separate pots? Like one is the beets and the other is the vegetables?
Well, one pot is the stew part. So I put in the potatoes, the cabbage, and the beets, the grated beets at the end. Then separately, I had to saute the onion, garlic, and carrots with the tomato sauce and the sunflower oil. I use sunflower oil, which I'm going to use a little more, so I can just put in a few more onions.
Yeah.
And then one of the last ingredients, oh my God, how bad! Chicken bouillon for flavor. Chicken bouillon. So I'm sticking some chicken bouillon in the soup mix.
Or you could just cook a whole chicken first, right?
Yes, you can, but that blab is way too long.
Yeah.
And this Colombia. So I'm going to put that in there. And you do this all to taste. Like some people don't like as much garlic as I used, and I dumped in more onion because I like onion. So.
I just noticed something on Charlene's website.
What'd you notice?
Well, I had an issue with somebody because I had taken, for example, I'll just tell you exactly what I did. It was very simple. I would see the square that we're in right now. I just went out of view. I did some screenshots where I would just basically do a screenshot and grab this image, and then I would just save it to my files. Well, I grabbed a bunch of them,
right.
And then just yesterday, I put a bunch of them together in like a little short film, and I posted it on YouTube. Well, one of the girls that was in there, she says, "Oh, I don't really appreciate that you took my image." And I said, "But you're on a public domain. Everybody can see you all day long. And people can actually record these without your knowledge because there's software out there
absolutely
that can record."
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
Last thing, I'm going to put the beet greens in it now.
The greens.
Keep going.
Go ahead, Donna.
Keep going. Ignore me.
Anyways, that's looking good. I'm coming over tonight.
Woohoo! Let me know. I'll pick you up at LAX. Okay.
Yeah, I need a ride. I just don't like using Uber. I'm just kidding. I've never used Uber. I've been in Denmark ever since they've been started.
Oh, gosh.
I've been in Denmark since 2001. Now, anyways, back to the video. I basically made that video and I posted it. And this girl, she says, she goes, "It's funny, but she goes, you caught me in some bad, images." And I go, "I don't think you can take a bad image, I don't think you can take a bad photo of you because she's just cute, So anyways, she goes, "I would appreciate it if you wouldn't, let it run." And I said, "Well, I have the right to let it run as much as I want." But I said, because I'm going to be nice, I said, I'll block it, I'll put it under private so nobody can see it. But then I had 3 other people go, "Well, I want to see it. I want to see it. I want to see it." So then I thought, well, there's kind of a funny thing going on here. And then what I just did is I went over to Charlene's website, and that same person is on a still image on her website. So it's like I said to her, I said, those images can be screenshot, all over the place. And when you're on a live streaming app, no matter where you are, you could be on Google Plus Hangouts, you could be on here, you could be on Periscope, you can be on all these places, Facebook, and your image can be captured. It's very simple. And I thought that for a person to say, "I don't want it to be captured," that's looking tasty.
Now I'm going to pour that into the soup.
Okay. So that's like the final stages.
Pretty much. Thank God. And then just
but yeah, you're right. It's kind of like I see here exactly what you're saying, Donald. Go ahead, Ruthie.
Then I pour some of the red water from boiling the beets into that whole mixture.
Okay.
Oh my
God. There you go.
Oh my God, this is like.
But yeah, privacy is dead. Is basically what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, if you thought there was privacy, there is no longer. It's gone, in my opinion.
Borscht. I'm gonna try that recipe. I've never tried to make anything like that. I've just
and it's good. It's not bad.
Yeah.
I have to doctor it up now, though. It needs help.
Ruthie, are you a vegetarian?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
They taught me.
She answered that quick.
The woman in Russia who taught me is vegetarian, so that's what she taught me.
Oh.
Okay.
Interesting.
But does borscht have any meat in it sometimes, or is it okay?
Or some people use pork lard to flavor it, and then some people put beans or they put meat in it.
Okay.
Interesting.
Oh, sorry. So how are we going to monetize Monty's business?
Monty, what business do you have?
Monty.
So I do mobile app development. We also do, we help people to take their idea from the initial idea to the validation point to understand whether or not it's going to be a sustainable business model. Part of what I'm doing right now is helping startups who are struggling to get capital to connect with either the resources or the talent to help them expand from their original idea to something that's a viable solution.
Lean mobile apps.
Yes, sir.
So do you write apps? Do you know how to write apps and make apps?
I'm a coder from Swift. I don't know C# or C++, but I understand Swift, and I understand a little bit of Swift too. My team understands a lot more of that. I work with Google. Ironically, I know Python, so Monty Python. I know a lot of different codes that I kind of play around with.
Monty Python. Ah, that's funny.
That was my nickname.
I know who Ruthie reminds me of. You remind me of the girl who played Olive Oil in the movie with what's his name? Robin Williams. You remind me of Olive Oil.
Thanks.
What's her name? What's her name?
I don't know.
I don't think she appreciated that too much.
I'm still trying to get over you.
No. He's talking about the one with Robin Williams in it.
I know. She was also in The Shining. I know. I know who she is.
You know what the funny thing is, though, is I think she's cute. I think you're cute. There's no, I don't know why.
I know. It's just the type. I know.
No, you're just kind of like giddy and silly and funny and bubbly and fun.
And skinny. I know. I'm skinny. I know.
You think skinny's a bad thing? Skinny's
that's a good thing.
Skinny's not in, guys. You know skinny's not in now. No, it's all. Oh, I don't want to get into this. This is not a healthy conversation.
Okay, no comment.
Maybe we could. Well, actually, we want to keep the recording on until she has finished the borscht, but then after that, we could just go to a free for all.
Yeah.
But we're talking about how do we monetize Monty's business a little bit more. So you're out there doing a couple of different things, Monty, right? So. Yeah. Let's talk about how you monetize it now, and then maybe we can work on ideas on how you can monetize it in the future. So what are the ways you monetize now?
So what I do right now is I have a basic process that people come in on a basic level. They just want to get a responsive theme. I help them to get a responsive theme. In some cases, it might be getting them an opt-in list, a website. We do that for $4.97. And then if they want to have an app that allows them to have more of a definite application presence, and this is both on Android and in iPhone. We do that for $4,997. I'm sorry, $4,997. Yeah, exactly. And then we have a top level, gives them a patentable process that is for $32,000. So those are kind of the ranges of how we work with people. In some cases, we work with clients on a more intimate basis, and those are sort of a case by case basis. One of the companies we're working with right now is a company which they're going into their phase 1 or Series A of their capital raise, and they're doing some incredible stuff with technology that allows you to write over the web. Literally, you can write physically on the web and share it in a private encrypted layer with people that you just have a direct relationship with and not to the entire public. So we're doing some interesting stuff with them in their actual primary stage.
Okay. What about, so where are you basically pushing out your advertising, or if you have any advertising?
That's a great question. I've done none. What I do is network. I go to a lot of events. I go coast to coast to activities that are hackathons and startup weekends, and I try to just participate in them in a way where I network with people. I just come in like a regular person, and I try to understand who does what, when, where, and why. So I'm participating in the hackathon or the event to win, but at the same time, I'm strictly trying to network and see what companies are there, what potential sponsors are there, who I can help, who I can understand. So what you just did right there with the cool, that's what we do, but it's actually on a larger scale. And specifically, it only lets you do it where, like, let's say Ruthie and you could see it, but the rest of us couldn't see it.
That's ManyCam that Donald's playing around with, and I have it as well. I would suggest that. Well, keeping time, you can use it to like make funny spaces. I can play around.
I'm talking about practical uses. What are the practical uses of it?
I'm showing a recipe of one of the recipes that I did for making pea soup.
Ooh, nice. So is this like something to use for a webinar?
Yeah, you could.
ManyCam?
ManyCam? Manny?
Yeah, ManyCam.
Manny.
Mm-hmm.
How much is this ManyCam? I hope I shave.
Bucks.
It's free.
It's $20, or it's free.
Wait a minute,
you can afford it.
Free. My price is free.
Yeah, but it's $20 to have 4 different feeds, like this right here.
Oh.
I have 4 different feeds that I can fill up. So I can stream a YouTube video if I wanted to.
So that's just useful. I don't know the uses of it.
Oh, it's
pretty cool when you get on platforms like this where you're using your cam a lot. So
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say though, Monty, is that I need your help with the first stages of I have the basic bones of the app, but I need to know how it all goes together, basically.
And we do that. I mean, so it really is take it from the idea to structure it in a way that makes it make sense. And we help you to get it out there on a quick basis. Sort of similar to what you're saying with the was it a stove or it was the dryer?
Drying cabinet, yeah.
Drying cabinet. So same idea. Get it out there. You start to get customers to really get some validation for that idea. And then from there, you're able to say, okay, is this scalable? And we help to define whether it's scalable or not as well.
Okay. Well, the app and the physical product and the app are 2 completely different things. The app requires 2 businesses to be merged together on a friendly basis. So something like Uber and something else might be merged together. And basically what I want to do is I've used Fluid UI to kind of build the structure of it. Do you know what Fluid UI is?
No, but we were using that this past weekend.
Okay. Well, I just found it because I'm not a tech person. I don't know how to write code, but I do know how to find things. And like if there's an API or something that I need, I just look for it on the internet. I just say, Google this. And I usually find really good answers. But the fact of the matter is I have a good structure. I have the nuts and bolts, but I need to make sure that it's all working properly before I publish it as a working app. So I can go into these 2 businesses that are specific and say, okay, I want you guys to work with this company, and I want to bring you guys together in a synergistic kind of way.
It's almost like a mini management consultant approach of what you're saying.
It's a way that they can both earn money and they can both help each other in a way that has never been done before.
Awesome. Yeah, Fluid UI, we were literally, there were some teams, one of the people on my team actually did work with Fluid UI to help us do a prototype. Basically, startup weekends, which I know Daryl knows about, are from Friday to Sunday, and they use Fluid UI to get part of our prototype, but then we actually had some stuff that went out there. It was a company that we called Splurge, and it was using that process to build the initial prototype.
Okay. Well, that's good to know.
Splurge. Interesting.
So that just means that I was going in the right direction.
So
yes.
So real quick,
Ruth, how's that taste?
Hey.
All
hey,
right,
Deb,
so that's the part I'm going to get to.
coming by.
So, first I want to see it. Oh,
Yeah.
dear God, help me. It is hot. I'm going to bring the camera down.
Hey Deb, hey at Change Factory, thanks so much for joining. With these cooking borscht, we're brainstorming on monetization ideas, and Donald's here with us. How long until the borscht is done?
Baby. It's done.
Wow.
It's done. Yum.
That's a bowl of borscht.
Wow.
I don't know how good it is. I'm going to actually, I do know how good it is. I'm going to boil more beets and put more beets. It doesn't have enough beet flavor, beet flavor. So what you do is after you make borscht, you add sour cream.
Really?
Yeah.
Dollop of sour cream.
Really?
I use sour cream in my pea soup too. It tastes great.
Oh my God, yeah, and I don't even like sour cream, party people.
Wow.
So you put it in and then you mix it. Oh, this is hot. So the thing is, I'm going to take a little, I'm going to put it on my tomato soup can, my tomato sauce can. I'm going to taste because you'll be able to taste it with me. Mmm.
Mmm.
It's nice. It's mild. And it doesn't have enough, it's got a lot of greens. These people, because I'm taking this to a party, a lot of vegetarians and healthy type people, hopefully they'll like it.
Wow.
But they won't be eating the dairy products. They'll just be going, oh, we like the soup, but we just don't need the cream fresh.
They would not have it. But like I said, even though it's very red, I feel like it needs more beet flavor. So I'm going to boil the last 2 little beets I have so I can grate them and put them in there.
What is the big difference between the vegetarian and the vegan?
Oh, between a vegetarian and a vegan?
It's just the way you spell it.
I can tell you the difference.
Go ahead.
So a vegan like only eats plants. That just period. A vegetarian will sometimes eat cheese, will sometimes eat eggs to a certain degree and whatnot. But a vegan like only eats plants and seeds, and like if you that's the basic difference.
No meat products, not anything that came from an animal.
Do you guys remember Abigail?
So gummy bears, like vegans won't eat gummy bears because there is like gelatin that is taken from something that is living. Gummy bears. So
they won't even have
pigs.
Do you guys remember Abigail? I know Ruthie has too. Dr. Abby.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying she was which was she, a vegetarian or a vegan?
I don't know.
There you go, Monty. There's my email address.
I will shoot you.
There you go. Ooh. So guys, I want to. It's about we've been talking.
Wait a minute.
Me, Ruthie, and Monty. Why'd you knock yourself out?
You want to get off?
No, you're not.
No, Ruthie, I would stay on with you forever and ever. However, I do have a life every once in a while. Every once in a while. But I wanted to see if we could maybe wrap up with the recorded portion there, and then we could just go ahead and switch to unrecorded. Monty, you did kick yourself out if you could still hear at all. So no, he's not even in the room anymore. I'm gonna have to text him to come back. But yeah, I want to. Hey, Mike. Oh, there you are.
You guys see me or no?
You came in as Mike.
Who's Mike Julie Bravo?
Hey, you came in as Mike.
Down here.
Hi, Mike Briarcliff, aka Monty. Thanks for
what the hell?
I'm not here.
We see you as Mike.
We can see you, but there's a different name up there. There's a different name here in the corner.
Okay, Monty. Mike Briarcliff just. Okay, now you just dipped out.
Really?
Monty.
All right, so I'm gonna stop.
Yeah, like there's very few people I meet where it's literally like I wake up at 7 a.m. and seriously until like I go to fucking bed, all I'm doing is like work. Like, you know, it's like, and it's hard. Like, don't get me wrong. It's not like you can flip a switch and you're just like done, right? It's just how much do you want, right? Like, you know, if 2 a month is where you are now, then I'd say push for, you know, 3 a month, right? And like, it's also, there's something I always tell people, and it's called Parkinson's law. And what that means is like, the time that you're allocated is the time that you're going to use. It's the same reason why people go to university and you can be told 2 months before your paper. And when do you write your paper? Like the last moment. Yeah, like, or like just before the class. Like I've had people go extreme, like just before it's due, like 2 hours before it's due, right? It's all about pushing yourself, right? And also finding someone who can hold you accountable. Like, and that's really hard. Finding someone who understands your industry enough to be able to actually be like, listen, you're bullshitting me right now. I know you can do more. But knowing when you're actually at your limit too is hard, right? That's why finding accountability partners are really, really hard. Yep.
I need to cut in.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Tom.
Daryl,
Yeah,
I need to cut in because that's a really good point, because that's where Daryl could also excel at being a person's kick in the pants every night or every morning. You could actually be that person that actually is the person, not like a mentor, but like a babysitter for these people who have the talent, and just say, hey, I'm going to call you at 6 a.m. and I'm going to get you out of bed and get you started on your project for today.
See,
I mean, that could be one of the things that you could monetize, Daryl.
Thank you, Donald. And like, here's the thing: I was in I think I mentioned earlier, like I ran mastermind groups back in Columbus for a little bit, and before Ruthie muted me, I don't know if she still has me muted or not. I was trying to like we had okay, you didn't mute me, right? Okay, good. Because like I was about to like ask you to tell them what you told us earlier in our mastermind group about what you do with your week and stuff, and what you do during the week that is revenue generating, if you would like to share with the group.
But sometimes it's not, I was going to just chime in and say, sometimes it's not about like direct revenue right now. Like what you're doing right now will generate revenue like today, right? It's a long-term game, right? It's not going to be, you could do this for 9 months and see nothing, right? But if you keep going and you keep doing it, like someone will notice, but it's time and energy and effort, and like it takes a long time. There's no shortcut. There's no, anyways.
Tracy's going to come in. Tracy's going to come in.
The one thing I wanted to make too, Corey, is that in the interim, that what you were talking about product branding, is there's another guy named Chef Dennis Litley. He's been doing Google Plus Hangouts for quite a while, and he just brought up the fact that he has been approached by one of these product manufacturers to put his actual name on some of the products and start selling them, like an affiliate link and this and that and the other. And I said, Chef, if you've got somebody that's already approached you about it, he goes, oh, I'm a little nervous about it. He goes, I'm not really sure I want to put my name on this product, this, that, and the other. And I said, just get the products made, have a sample sent to you, and if you approve it, then go ahead and sell it. Because, I mean, really, that's all it is it's your name. And if you like a product, you should be making a little bit of profit off of it. Why not?
Just before I let
we could do the same thing with the products that she's using.
I was just going to say, before I forget with Ruth, the thing that you should also do, I know you're all about cooking, but honestly, the great value for someone like me, and I'm not saying I'm your audience, but I'm saying like when you're going to other people's houses and they're cooking with you, I would say like there's content right there. Just in like, hey, tell me about the origin. Like when you're in Russia and you're cooking with like cooks who are actually from that area, and just putting a camera at them and being like, tell me about like Russia, tell me about like the cooking here. Like you can easily probably get like, I mean, an hour worth of content, but maybe it's cut down to like 5 minutes after you cut out like the idle time and all that. But it's just like side content from the things you're doing, like it's cooking. But if you already have someone there and you can just quickly be like, hey, can I just ask you about like the Russian culture here and like how cooking's influenced by it, especially if you can get authentic people who've actually lived there and like, hey, I've been cooking for like 30 years and I've only lived here. It's like, oh my gosh, all you know is like this culture of cooking, right? So it's tons of knowledge, right? Like
people here or people in the country that are
right? Like I am sure if like, I know you said you had like a hard time getting to like in someone's house that was like from Russia or cook Russian dishes, but I'm telling you, just like keep spamming people. Like I always tell people a story. It's like I cold email Mark Cuban, who's like the 40th richest person in the world, and I got a reply. Like it's just about pushing. It's always about like people get in this like
I know
state where they're like, I'm not good enough or I can't. It's like fuck it. I always say like risk versus reward. It's like what do you have to lose? Someone deletes your email. What do you have to gain? They actually are like, let's meet. Like that's it, right? Like just do it. Just do it.
I love you, Corey, but can you expand on risk versus reward? Because I don't risk unless I think there's going to be a reward.
Well, I mean, like, I don't know. It's that scenario of like if I was you, I would literally just, in your area, just email every single chef at every single restaurant. Or just cold walk in and be like, hey, I do a cooking show. I was wondering if I could get you for maybe 30, 40 minutes on a night where, we just show up at your kitchen and we watch you cook. You could get 20 no's, but eventually someone's going to be like, sure, why not? Or like, I don't know, fucking bribe them. Be like, here, I have a $20 bottle of wine. Like
I want home cooking, homes. I want to go into people's homes.
Okay,
that's the issue.
I mean, okay, then you know what? Like, I'm sure there's other ways. Like the home cooking's a little bit harder because you don't like. It's really hard to find people who
are open
in your house and things like that.
Yes,
but
exactly.
Like, I mean, okay, go back to chefs and like. Ask for like home cooking sessions with them or something. Like I don't know. Like I'm not saying just chefs. I'm just saying that's a very easy audience to get to because they're like it's literally Google. You're like chefs in my area, right? Or just restaurants and just show up. Or I would also go to if you have a culinary school there. Email whoever's teaching it and ask that like you want to do interviews with the culinary students because here's all upcoming chefs who want to make names for themselves anyways. And they will probably be like, sure, you can come to my house and watch me. Like because like they want that pedestal factor. They want that, hey, I have an interview with so-and-so and you don't, right?
Right.
Because they haven't made a name for themselves, right? Everyone wants a name for themselves.
Okay, so I can call the culinary school and ask, do you have someone from another country who would let me in their home to cook with?
I wouldn't say, I would try and get to the actual culinary students themselves because you're probably gonna have a culinary student who is actually not from this country even maybe.
Right.
Or someone who, like, it all depends on, like, I'm just saying, just do it. Just, like, don't ever sit there and go be like, oh, I'm not good enough, or I can't do that, or people are too defensive. Like, who cares? Like
I like this, the question here. Well, it's not really a question. It's more of a statement. Why not get the chefs from the restaurants to go to their homes and cook? That idea I like because, yeah, you're getting that personal. Because a professional chef in a restaurant is going to cook different at home than he does.
Good one.
Or I was going to say, this is all side content. Like, if your brand is all about, like, amateur cooks at home that don't have training, I'd also say, but there's also content at looking like the professionals, right? Like, here's tips from professionals to enhance your amateur level cooking, right? Like, here's
level home cooking.
Yeah, right. Like, because like when I'm cooking, like, I don't Google for amateurs. I'm Googling for like top quality chefs because I want to learn like the fastest way to prep something or, how should I cook this duck or what's the best technique and things like that. Right. And, like there's always value because you're like, if your audience is mostly these home cooks or people aspiring to like tweak their techniques or like, look, hey, these are all home cooks. You could do the same thing. But then it's also like, oh, here, you don't need to spend 10 minutes prepping carrots or vegetables. Like, here's a better cutting technique. Here's a better way to prep, whatever it may be. These are just ideas. Like, I don't know your industry enough to really be like,
I don't either. I just want to make people laugh, and I want Americans to know that the world's a safer place than they think. And by going into people's homes, you know what I mean, in Russia, in Afghanistan, and anywhere in Africa, whatever, it's like, oh, that's how they live. That's how I live. Oh, my God, they do that. Oh, my God, that's good. And
Denmark.
And here it would be great to get a home, to get a chef and be like, can I cook in your house? Can you teach me how to do this? Even a Russian chef. I would go to a Russian restaurant and be like, hey, let's go to your house and give me some tips on how to make borscht.
I mean, it's also perception. Like, so I'm a conference speaker and I always tell people, you want to get a conference speaking gig, I say the biggest thing is perception. Like, I wouldn't go and be like, hey, I want to cook in a house. I would word something like, I do a show that, is popular online and we're looking at a chef that can pair with an amateur at their house and teach cooking techniques. That sounds a lot more like professional and like you have a huge audience behind you and like, like it's all perception. Like, you're not lying, but you're making it seem a little bit larger than it is. And like, you have a brand behind you and there's an audience and like, you have to play to people's egos, right? Right. I don't want to just be with the, like someone who's not a pro or there's no value, or like there's very few people who are just going to give freely and not want anything. So it's just like, hey, look, you know, my audience wants to see you, and what do you want to show off your mad skills? And, you know, like that's the same reason why do people even do interviews, right? Like,
right. Corey, you're the bomb.
You got to get on TV because your personality is infectious. I haven't watched any of your YouTube videos, but I'm watching you, and the passion that you have and the excitement is just like, that's why I was like, what's her YouTube channel? Because I'm going to go watch that stuff. I mean,
Tracy,
there's okay, so like I lose track on Blab the time.
Everybody does.
2 or 3 days, maybe a week, you know, ago. The guys from DIY channel were on here on Blab. They had a show. So, and their producer was in the chats monitoring, you know, answering questions and stuff. You could totally use this platform and get to know those people, become friends with that producer, because relationships are made so quickly here on Blab.
It's amazing.
And you can just, I mean, if you could just get that in.
All right, so I have to become addicted to Blab and just be on it all the time. Cooking.
Yeah.
I should be here cooking all the time while we talk about stuff.
Yeah, and you totally, okay, this whole risk versus reward, your reward is going to come in so big, and I don't even think you realize it. I don't think you realize the gift that you have. I mean, it's just amazing with your personality.
I've been in showbiz for a while, so I don't know.
Okay. So you just, I'll do anything I can to help you. I don't.
God bless you, Tracy. Well, I got what Corey is saying. Just go out, do it, get people, and just keep pumping out content.
Yeah, I mean, even what we were saying is like that risk versus reward. It's like every time you're going to cook, I would just say turn on Blab. Like it doesn't always have to be about how to improve like your cooking or like your audience. But like people just stop by, and like if you can do this, like you'll just get a general audience of like who like your personality, like you, and just show up, and like, you know, eventually it's going to be like, hey, what are you cooking? Oh, I do XYZ. Like it's all about opportunity, like options, right? Like doing this is not a huge cost, right? Like there's not a huge risk. Like, so what? You're going to cook anyways. Put the camera, talk. Like,
yeah.
There's some big people on Blab that have celebrities checking Blab out to see if that's a good platform. They're coming in, and you're not going to see them in the bubbles. They're going to be a +1.
Right.
Because they don't want to be seen yet. So all it takes is that one person, and Ruthie's going to Germany, and Ruthie's going to
Denmark.
All over.
I'm going to say something too, that there's a guy that has been doing a lot of techie tutorials over on Google Plus Hangouts, and one of the things that he did at one point is he's a single father of a child that's about, I think the kid is about 5 or 6 years old. Anyways, he goes, I'm putting all my cards on the table. He says, I have to start earning some money for the content I'm creating. And he goes, YouTube is just not doing it for me. So what he said is he set up a Patreon account. So people could actually donate money to his account, and it might be $1 a month, it might be $5 a month. But at some point in time, he got to a point where he says, I don't have to work anymore. I can just do nothing but create content for my viewers. And he said that was the biggest relief off of his shoulders, was to be able to make sure that he could pay his rent and put food on the table for his child. And I thought to myself, I said, that's a pretty smart thing, because you've got Patreon, you've got a group of people who want to watch his services, you know, his techie kind of tutorials. And it just really worked out really well, because it was just Patreon at that time was just starting out, and he was one of the first people to jump on and start using it.
Time and effort, though. Like, don't fall into the hype train. Don't be like, I'll put up my page on that site, and all of a sudden I'll be like quitting my job. Like, like long tail, right? Always think like long term, and like it's gonna take time and effort.
Yeah.
So in terms of, go ahead.
He had a really strong following. I mean, he had probably over 1,000 specific followers watching that particular show that he was doing, and he was doing it at that time. I believe he was doing a bi-weekly show as well. He was doing 2 shows a week.
So in terms of shows and stuff, that was my question, because editing takes a lot of time. Periscope does not. So Corey, in your professional opinion,
Periscope sucks.
Okay, Blab or Periscope?
I would not pay any service. I would not pay. I would not even spend time on Periscope or Meerkat, because for me it's too rough. It's just too unpolished. It doesn't look good.
The thing I like about Blab is this: I get to talk to people. You know what I mean? You can ask me a question, and I can show you. I mean, Periscope, it feels like a monologue.
So last night I was on a Blab at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I met a guy who does the social media for Floyd Mayweather, a boxer.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And he does SEO optimization for YouTube, right? So I just went to your YouTube channel, and we got to get your YouTube channel optimized because it's not.
It's not.
So,
I know.
But like I could connect you with him and people who know. I mean, it's that whole industry. He knows a ton of people in the industry. You know, he might not be able to help you, but he could connect you with somebody that could.
Yeah, I need to have conversations like this. Like, what steps do I need to be taking to be on the road I want to be on?
Mm-hmm.
So we need to find somebody to get your YouTube optimized, because that's your main. I don't know what to call it.
Channel.
You know what I'm saying?
Main form of video content.
Yeah.
Right.
I wasn't sure where you were going with it. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, main source, I guess. Like.
Yeah. So that you can get your YouTube.
What does it mean when you say it's not optimized? What does that mean exactly?
Okay, so like and I've only looked at a couple of your videos. So like when I go to your YouTube channel or a video on your YouTube, and I click show more, there needs to be more stuff there. There needs to be more keywords, more things that Google or Bing is going to pick up to draw people in.
Got it. Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, you have your social networks there and your website, but you just need a little bit more. Like, join me on this adventure as
Do you mean in each video? I need to put content in each video.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I try to copy other people, but more. And you hire someone to help you do that?
You can, if you don't know how.
Yeah, I could have one session. One session would be good. Okay.
Yeah.
Videos.
Daryl, can you put her
rice and milk, arroz con leche.
Arroz con leche, Dominican. And it's so great because at the end of it, she talks about her passion for making ribbons for breast cancer awareness. So that's,
see, now there's like a spin-off right there. Whoops, what happened?
Okay. I mean, my God, if Auntie can get on Steve Harvey and Jimmy Kimmel, we can get you on those platforms, to be sure.
If who? Who got on those platforms?
Aunt Fee.
Oh.
You know her? She's on YouTube.
I'm looking at your
I need an audience. I need an audience. So just to get back on the topic a little off of me, Corey and Tracy, how do you guys monetize? What are your monetizing strategies?
Well, I mean, ignoring the startup stuff I do, because like that's literally just business to business. I show up at brand. This is what we do. You either buy it or you don't buy it kind of scenario. But like I did like this side business where I sold hoodies, like literally hoodies that were custom, and they just had like Hustler here and people's names on the back.
Oh my God.
Okay, but I'm like rogue. Okay, so like I didn't even have them.
I love it.
I didn't even have the hoodies. I would just go up to, I had one hoodie, my own hoodie that I made. And then I just went up to people. I'm like, would you like to buy this hoodie? I can get your name on it. And I'm like, it's $70. And they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, PayPal me the money. And in 2 months you get the hoodie. I didn't even have any hoodies. Like I just started selling. But this is risk versus reward. You can sell things without even having a product, because like there's no, like, so what? If I have 100 people say yes and they all send me their money and I don't have any manufacturing, I don't have anything set up, I just have to deal with it, right? My worst case is I say, sorry, there was a problem. I refund the money.
Yeah,
my best case is I fulfill it. Everyone gets hoodies and I make money. Cool.
Sell it first and then figure out how to do it. That's what a lot of people are doing these days. Is selling the idea or selling the whatever, and then.
So risk versus reward. It's the versus that's confusing me, because I understand I take a risk based on what I believe the reward is going to be. Is that what risk versus reward means?
I would say take all risks, no matter the reward. And like, just don't be scared of the risk. Like, like, okay, outside like extremes, like my risk is I go to jail. Like, okay, whoa. Like, but if the risk is like, well, what happens if they don't like me? What happens if they don't talk to me? What happens if they tell me like just to piss off? Like, so what? Move on. Like, don't care. Like, just do it. Like, you're gonna get 500 no's, and maybe the 501 will be yes. Like, got it. Okay.
It's just doing it. So, like, what about you, Tracy? How do you monetize, or what do you do?
I do coaching for people in direct sales and multi-level marketing, network marketing, that kind of thing.
Awesome. And how do you monetize?
I build relationships, and I just tell them how I can help them, and it's up to them. But
do you use Blab as a platform to get the word out about you?
I'm just starting to. I started with Blab, trying everything that I do or people do in my industry. It's relationship based. So, but I don't come on here and go, I'm a great coach and I can do this. That's not who I am. I am totally against it.
Yeah.
I don't want to be looked at as a guru or an expert. I'm real down to earth coaching. It's pretty much, this is how it is. And
you just have
you know, but, but I'm using Blab to create relationships with other people in the industry, and maybe they can refer people to me, and I can refer people to them. So that's what it is for me.
I'm noticing that you've got a ton of content here on YouTube.
I've been trying for a while. Yes.
Man, you just got a buttload of stuff there. It's amazing. But yeah, like Tracy was saying, though, that there are some things, like even the category in some cases are in the for optimization. Some of the categories that you've got your stuff listed under entertainment is just wrong, especially if it's like a how-to, or like if you're cooking, and it can be considered educational or how-to and style or whatever. But I mean, still, those things are important when it comes to people actually finding the content.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's also like your content can be awesome and it can be great quality, but you still do have to market it. Like, like
I gotta tweet it.
Not like as much as everyone thinks like, hey, I can put out really good content and good quality, it's just magically everyone's just gonna find it, is like BS. Like unless you have to be in the community, you have to figure out where like the people you want to target live, like not actually live, but like online they live. I mean, you could go door to door, but that's a little extreme. But like, you know, I'm sure there's other places you could be asking for advice, or, you know, like other content even like non-direct audiences, right? There's going to be an audience that are going to be like content YouTube creators, right? And you can go there and be like, hey, I'm a content YouTube creator. This is what I do. Like how, like even simple things of like, I don't know. I always look for like the non-directs, which is like, you know, content creators in YouTube, and you're like, hey, this is what I do. Like, don't worry about what I do. I'm here so that you can tell me how to do editing faster, right? Or editing tips. And you're basically not asking them to look at your stuff, and you're more like interested in who they are. Because like, what's going to happen is they're probably going to go look at your content and be like, oh yeah, I really like what you're doing. And like from there, like all it takes is like, you know, a share or someone else telling someone else. Plus you get the advantage of like someone coming in and be like, oh yeah, here, let me teach you. Here's a video that I did about editing faster, right? Because I noticed like you say editing takes you forever, right? So like it's about cutting down that time so that you have more episodes you can do without sacrificing quality. Like someone could like maybe teach you faster ways or whatever, and that might save you 2 hours, which might be in our video or whatever it may be. So
yeah. And another thing too, depending on what kind of a budget that you have to work with now, even if it's very limited, what I was saying about adding some kind of a Patreon account to your whole project might be helpful in the things that you could take that money, and even though it might not be a giant sum of money, it might be something that you could put towards improving the video by hiring a semi-professional person on Freelancer to maybe edit your videos for you.
Right. Yeah,
So
but that's
you have that extra stream of money to actually help to make your product even better.
How do you spell that? Patreon?
It's just how it sounds. Patreon.
Oh, EON. Patreon. Okay, I'm gonna look that up.
I believe it's how it's spelled.
Awesome. Thanks, Donald. Daryl is telling me that someone wants to jump in. Do you mind if someone takes your spot for a little bit?
Yeah, I could jump out because I have another project. Oh, what happened?
Tracy, we lost you.
No,
Tracy, like,
so it was really nice meeting you, Corey and Ruthie. I can also take off. It's almost 1:40 a.m.
Tracy, we didn't want you to go. Real quick, Michael, did you want to still jump in? If you do, please type it in the chat box. That's the only reason I was trying to communicate that across. She has to.
I'm about to grate another.
No, Michael, just tell me.
You're just having fun doing that.
No, like Donald should continue to say. I was just trying, and I was not trying to kick Tracy out at all. So.
Oh, Tracy comes out.
Yeah, Tracy jumped out herself.
Out long enough.
Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna jump back out. I would love to have somebody else go ahead and sit.
More beet flavor. Okay, Daryl.
More beet flavor.
Yeah, I need more beet flavor. So
more beet.
More beet flavor. So why did you go to cooking school?
Well, this would have been a while ago, like 6 years ago. And I just wasn't sure what I was doing with life. So I was like, well, cooking looks cool. I like cooking. I grew up mostly with my grandma, and she was like all homemade. Like literally, you go in the backyard, there was a garden, and you picked your stuff, and you came back in the house. So then I was like, oh, let's do that. And then I was like, nope. Right. I love cooking, but the passion for that, like, I don't have that kind of passion. Put in 2 years of time of not maybe getting somewhere. No, like, at least not professionally. Like, no way.
Right. So do you cook stuff still?
Yeah, I still cook, but I also don't cook too. It's really weird. Like, I'm a very efficient person with my time. So I drink this thing called Soylent.
What?
I drink this thing. It's called Soylent.
It's a meal replacement?
Yeah, it's a full meal replacement.
Hey, Justin Smallwood, thanks for joining in. Yeah, tell me more about Soylent. Okay. Like Soylent Green? No.
I'm all for cooking. I'm all for eating healthy. I'm all for that. I don't like cleaning, and it's time for me. Like,
it's time consuming.
I live by myself, so like there's not a great value in me cooking just a huge meal for myself, I feel like. So Soylent is a full meal replacement. It's.
Can you spell it for us, Corey? I'll read the comments here. Go ahead.
Hopefully hear some kids or something.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, that's it.
All right, I just want to show you guys how red. This isn't even that red. The beets. I boiled a couple of beets because I'm adding it. My borscht didn't have enough beet flavor, and this is how cute and red it gets. Woohoo!
It's almost like a very light rosé, almost like a watered down rosé kind of.
Pretty color.
Yeah.
It is. Beets are really pretty.
So, Soylent is a total meal replacement. It has 100% of all your vitamins and nutrients. It's a powder. You add water with it. You stir it. It comes in like a 1.5 liter jug. So I don't know what that is in gallons. Like, okay. I'm not American, so I don't know.
Canadian?
Yeah, I'm from Canada.
Got it.
I am in the U.S. right now. I'm in Austin. Oh. Spell it. Oh, I can just literally just link up the site. It's like Soylent, like that. Everyone hears it and they're like, "Oh, Soylent Green. It's made of humans," because there's a movie that talks about that.
Oh,
it's not actually made of humans. It's totally unrelated, by the way.
Right. Total meal replacement. Got it.
But it's basically just like all the raw things you need. Like, yeah, I don't know. I love it. I lived 3 months straight on it. Only that, beer and coffee was the only things I was having. So yeah, that was it.
Weight?
Did I lose weight? No, it's 2,000 calorie intake. So, I mean, for me, like, it was fine. 2,000.
2 times. No, how many times a day did you drink it?
Depends. You can drink it throughout the entire day if you want. Like, it's just a liquid. So I would usually have like 5 meals.
But didn't you miss garlic and you know what I mean? The sensual part of eating?
No, like after the first 3 days, you don't really, I actually look forward, even right now, like I'm in Austin, so I don't have any anymore. And I actually look forward to it right now. Like I actually miss it.
Your body wants it.
Like it's less the body, it's more the convenience. I'm like, cooking, fuck. It's like, okay, prep, you know, dishes, all that, cooking. It's also super fast, right? Like it takes me 5 minutes. Add powder, add water, stir, done. Like
you don't put a banana in it, you don't do anything.
Yeah, there's no bag. There's it's a very like neutral flavor. There's almost no flavor to it. So if you want to go like, if you're craving like something with flavor, I usually would say like juice any fruits and just add that in then. And then you'd have like a strawberry like milkshake without milk really. So it tastes like strawberries.
Okay, Corey, I want to hear, Daryl's been asking this question. What does a day and even a week in your life look like? What time do you wake up?
It's pretty messed. Like I don't really have a schedule. Like today, like yesterday I was up for 36 hours and then I slept like 14 hours. So, but that's not common. But I don't have like a 9 to 5 schedule or anything like that. It rotates. I can't hear Daryl though.
Me neither. Daryl, we can't hear you. Daryl, you're muted.
But my schedule just rotates. It's basically every day goes either minus or plus 2 hours from the time I wake up. So eventually, like right now, I woke up at 3 in the afternoon, and I'll like eventually next week I will go back to waking up at like 9 a.m. So yeah, there's no schedule. I just get up whenever I have the energy, and I go to sleep whenever I'm tired.
Do you get sick often?
The last time I was sick would have been probably like 10 years ago. Like all the way back when I would have been in high school and things like that. So it's been a long time. I get like a runny nose from allergies sometimes, but like actually sick, no.
Yeah.
So what are you doing, Ruthie? You're grating beets?
Yes, I'm grating the beets right now, my 2 little beets, which I will then pour into the soup because I made the borscht like over an hour ago, but it just wasn't flavorful enough. So I'm grating the beets, and I'll show you what grated beets look like. They look like this.
What do you normally add there? Like in terms of spices, like?
Not much. I do this little mixture of carrots, onions, and garlic sauteed in sunflower oil. And then I just put in about a tablespoon and a half of chicken broth.
Oh, okay.
So that helps. And then I doctored it up a little with a little salt and pepper, which I may need more of. But
So
it was just, huh?
I got here late. What's borscht?
Oh, borscht is a Russian stew, basically. The first place that I went to at this launch of Cooking Up Adventures, I was in Moscow in June. And so I went looking for people to teach me how to cook, whatever their favorite home cooked meal was. That, if I learned how to do it, would make someone fall in love with me. So this woman said borscht, and she's vegetarian. So borscht is beets, cabbage, onions, garlic, carrots, tomato sauce, and what the hell else? Potatoes.
You put any meat in yours?
Any what?
Meat?
You can.
It's a meatless dish, isn't it?
Oh, you're a vegetarian?
No, she was, Natalia.
Okay.
But she says you can put meat, like hamburger meat or whatever, ground meat.
Like beef or pork, I'm seeing, so.
Pretty much. And also some vegetarians or like a chili. It's like a chili, they can put beans and stuff. But it's vegetarian, and so I'm adding more pretty grated beets to it.
I was reading up on it. Like the other spices were like parsley, chives, dill, and bay leaves. I thought you would probably put bay leaves. They're pretty strong.
I forgot.
You forgot the bay leaves?
Oh my God, I'm gonna put it in now. Thanks for reminding me.
That's why when you said it wasn't very flavorful and you list off the ingredients, I was like, I'm surprised it's not very, okay, there's the bay leaves. It's one of the strongest things, right? Like, that's why, yeah, okay, there you go.
Well, I'm gonna boil it again and I'm gonna stick these suckers in. I'm putting in 2. Oh man! Dang. I need to write these recipes down. Shit.
I'm glad I could be of help.
Oh, thanks for that, Corey. Gotta have you around, man. Yeah, see, you put anything major. Oh, and then you put sour cream on top of it at the end of it, if you like. Which I'm not really into sour cream, but it makes it really nice and like, I don't know, more like comfort food.
When you cook it, like the cook times I've read are pretty long. So is it still like a soup or is it more like a stew when it fully is cooked? Like, how thick is it? Like,
it's pretty thick, and this is kind of ridiculous, but it doesn't taste bad because I also use, including with the beets, she taught me to make it with the beet greens, and I put a lot. So like, I'm going to show it to you.
Would it ever be something that you could use with like chips, I
did it.
Yeah, like Mexican style chips, like.
I did it with Puerto Rican tostones with fried plantains. So this is how kind of thick it is.
It's still a little watery, okay.
Yeah, so that's why I'm putting in additional beets. Hold on, I got it. Make sure, can you see that?
Yeah.
So it's got lots of veggies, but I don't know what's going to happen with this.
Probably not the vegetarian one. I probably wouldn't do any sort of like nacho style kind of with it. But if there was beef in there, totally, I would be like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be some sort of fusion. I'm sure they'd be like, nachos with our beef, borscht, never. But
well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, it's also nice because you can put those on plates then. And like individual hand picks, right? Like people don't necessarily want to go and get a whole bowl of something, but if you put it on something like little mini tiny like crackers or whatever, or nachos, whatever it may be, like the moment you have it in hand form, people are like, oh yeah, sure, I'll take that. Like
exactly. Yeah, I don't know how it's gonna go at the party, but I'm gonna bring some sour cream with me, and that's about it. But oh my God, the bay leaf! No wonder.
So I could see like one square being Ruthie cooking, and then another person using Mannequin to display the ingredients and how to cook it.
Just like Daryl has going up there. What do you have going up there, Daryl?
Do you see what it says?
I can't.
I will sit here and be boring until someone else asks to sit. Oh, okay.
Exactly.
Don't be boring. So, yeah, my party people, don't forget the bay leaf. Bay leaf is good for most things, but yeah, no, she didn't have me put anything else in there. Damn, the bay leaf.
Yeah, because that's like one of the strongest things, right? That's why, like, you're only putting 2 bay leaves in the entire pot. I always warn people when they're using bay leaf. I'm like, do not underestimate it. Like, you know, if it's not like a stew or soup.
Should I put more?
No, I mean, you can always add more later. I'm just saying, like a lot of like people I'm telling you use bay leaves, they're like, oh sure, I'll put in X. I'm like, it's pretty strong. Like unless you're doing like a giant soup or stew, I'm like, it's like, I don't know, because people just think it's like something like, I don't know. I had someone try and grill with it, like on top of their steak, and it was like, they're like, oh, dude, all I could taste was bay leaf. I'm like, yeah, it's not that type of spice. It's not like parsley where you can just like throw it on and not have to worry. So I don't know.
Yeah, no.
It's always like start small and always add more if it's not enough, right? Like you can always add more.
Yeah, than it is to take away. As my mother always says, don't, salt. She's like, it's ruined if it's too salty. But although she sometimes puts potatoes in whatever it is that's salty, so the potato would suck out some of the salt. I don't know. Tracy, do you cook?
As little as I can.
You and Corey. Drink that. What is it again? Soylent.
Yeah. I don't know. My husband is a big cook, but we watch like Food Network and we watch that stuff like crazy. And
it's food porn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even with the borscht, is it? Or is there borscht? I was thinking something like white potatoes. like almost a replacement of gravy and whatnot. Especially like I'm thinking about beef and pork still being in it, right? So
Right.
I don't know how it would taste, but I was like, yeah, well, I would probably, it would at least look appealing to me to eat it. Like I'm not a big soup person. I mean, that looks appealing. It's just I'm not a big soup person, so I'm more like I want something that glazes on top of something or like a liquid on top of it. Like that's why I said potatoes with this, right, as a replacement of gravy, because I like gravy, but you know, I'm always about changing it up. So
no, changing it up is good. I just need to learn from people, and I just feel like I have a little piece of Russia here with me today. You know what I mean? It just feels like I'm traveling, even though I'm not, but I've got a little international stuff going on.
Hey, Donald, do you want to jump back in? You can.
What? Donald's still around?
Donald just jumped back in. Do you want to jump
Down,
back in?
you were in the Bay Area. Ha 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 ha. That's funny. All right, I got to turn on this flame again.
So we need to find somebody to optimize her YouTube videos. What else can we do to help her?
Optimizing each one, right? So then I copy and paste that onto all of my videos. Is that right?
Depending on the topic.
Right. But the basic, like what I understood was the part with my social media and the tags, right? We're talking about the tags. We're talking about what I say in the descriptions and all of that stuff.
Yeah, as far as like, just checking the feed.
You'll find someone. I'm sure you show up on Blab enough and you just like look for the people who are talking about social media and there's an empty seat. Just, you know, come in, intro yourself. Hey, I don't know how you describe it, a cooking show if you want to describe it that way. I have a YouTube channel. I was wondering what I could do to better engage the audience or, you know, optimize my YouTube page or whatever it is.
And what about Facebook ads and YouTube ads?
For what purpose, though?
I don't know, building.
What are you selling right now? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Corey.
I was just gonna say, if you're not selling, I wouldn't necessarily try and like buy in an audience, right? Like the retention, like good quality and good content, as long as you're pushing it out there through different channels, like not even through advertisement. It's just finding where you're like the people who are watching this, where they like are online and where you have to go to and like become one in the community and be like, listen, you know, have you tried bay leaves with this? Or, you know, have you ever tried borscht with potatoes? Or I thought this went well with this. And like, you know, once you are one with the community, it's like, hey, I do a YouTube channel, right? Like give, check out my shit kind of scenario, right? Or the whole Gary Vaynerchuk thing is jab, 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 right hook, right? I like to say give, buy my shit, right? Or yeah, so.
I like it. Give. But yeah, I need to focus on this. That's basically what I need to do. Even though it's long tail, I have to believe that I could make money with it rather than, because I'm distracted. Because I'm like, oh yeah, this is just fun. It'll take too long. But at the rate that I'm going, it's going to take 90 years instead of just.
That's not always true, right? Because it's like that, like exponential kind of graph, right? Like it's like a hockey stick kind of graph. Like, you know, you're going to have like a very low amount, and then you're going to hit that point where you're going to start to turn, and it's just going to be like it's going to go up a lot faster than it is. Like it's going to take. You're thinking 90 years. That's the current growth, but it's never about that, because like once you build up your dedicated audience, like they're going to stay, right? And every other person you add is just going to keep growing, like, you know. And then like everyone keeps saying it's not like you're not going to find one person who's just magically going to make you hugely popular. But, you know, one person could push you like, oh, look, my normal video of like 100 views, like one person retweeted and I just got like 600. But of those 600 that came, 10 are now staying, right? So now every video is going to be like approximately like 110, right? And so on and so on. And like it just keeps growing. It's like compound interest, right? Like if you wait long enough, like, you know, it's going to be a ton of stuff. But
carbon axiom. And Donald put, again, the Patreon account. So that's something you need to sign up for. It sounds like it's pretty easy to sign up for that. You just sign up, say, hey, give me some money, and you kind of go from there. Ruthie, just to contrast and stuff, since you don't think Ruthie Otero Cooking Adventures, like on some level, you don't think that's got a good way for you to make money. I'm just gonna like throw you out there and say, like, what is the way that you typically try to get people get money right now? Tell them about kind of what you've been doing at this point. Like, what are the revenue generating activities that you're doing right now?
But I've done 4 one-woman shows and a web series. Right now I'm working on Cooking Up Adventures, so that's another web series. So I teach right now actors how to create their own one-person shows and web series. So that's one workshop that I'm trying to offer.
Now, do you always plug your food stuff?
No.
But you should. You should find a way.
To plug my food stuff
I mean, not like plug it, but like, I don't know. For me, it's like whenever I'm like doing anything, it's like not the plug, but it, like that's such a terrible word. It sounds like such a marketing word, but it's like, you know, when you guys ask me what I do, it's like, hey, I do like this. I do esports, or it's like if you're doing a webinar, it's like I do X, Y, Z, and I run a food cooking channel where it can be found at blah blah, right? Because like it's all that small engagement stuff where it's like +1 viewer, +1 viewer, +1 viewer. But if you keep doing it, like all of a sudden you're like, oh wow, I'm up 400 more viewers, right? Like I always tell people, like, tell everyone what you do. I'm like, because for me, like I actually don't like good feedback when people are like, oh, that's such a smart idea, because it's like I already know that.
I know.
It's like I already know that. I have revenue that says that's a good idea. I'm looking for the people.
I'm right there with you,
I'm looking for the people to tell me it's like the worst idea ever, that like this is going to go crashing down, because you know what? Those are things I can address right now, right? When people are like, this is terrible, like you're never going to make it. No one's going to want to watch you, like videos of you just like, well, there's a video YouTube channel of like a guy who just does, what are they called? Coin pushers, the machines that just push coins. And like, if I didn't tell you the view numbers, and like I already tried this, actually I had a friend and I just like held my hand over the view numbers and like, how many views do you think this gets? He's like 10. I'm like, it has 500,000. There's this guy playing like a coin pusher because he's built up a brand around that, right? Like, but it's all this like the small views and all that, and like it's all about the criticism, because it's like, you know, if my friend who saw that is like, I wouldn't watch this because, oh, the audio is bad, or this is bad, or like this is never going to work because it's like blah blah blah. Like those are like, you know, there's always like grain of salt in that, but there are things that are going to be legitimate criticisms. Like, I mean, if someone's just like, oh, that's just terrible, like ignore it, move on, right? Like, there's nothing there. But someone's like, I'm not going to watch that because, like, I don't know, the audio is just shitty, or, like, the video's all unstable, or, like, the content wasn't there, or I wish there was, like, YouTube annotations to skip to a spot where I just want to hear about the ingredients, right? Like, I hate going through a video if they don't list out the ingredients, and I don't know where it is, or they forgot it in the description. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, nope, close YouTube, right? Like, you know.
Hey.
Real quick, Ruthie, did you see what Carbon Axiom, if you want to go ahead and sit, I don't think I've ever seen, well, I think I might have seen you sit somewhere.
Each box
just broke it down for you. You know, make a video of you opening each box of ingredients, which you've been doing. Make a 5-part series about making the borscht, which you probably have done, but make a Kickstarter fund. Ruthie, like, you could probably just get into the business of how to make a funny Kickstarter video. That's super niche, and like people would buy that. But that's my 2 cents.
I don't want to do Kickstarter videos. I want to do these videos.
But you could teach people how to do Kickstarter videos.
I haven't even done one myself yet.
Oh my goodness.
What? Am I wrong, people? Am I wrong? I'm willing to be wrong.
I'm not saying you're wrong. Like, I think Kickstarter videos are like basically the lottery, unless you really have something truly unique. Like the travel, like it's like why you versus everyone else, right? Like, I don't know, if it was like you're like, I invented like a new blender that's going to change the way that you make food, I would probably back that. I'd probably be like, fuck yes. But just someone who's like, hey, I want you to pay me to travel the world. Unless it was like a documentary that talks about like developing countries or things where it's like, I want to show you the reality of like the actual things. But that's different from the cooking show. Like, a documentary is very different from the cooking show, right? Like, you know.
Well, I'd be happy to do a documentary, but I am doing a cooking show. Like I could do a documentary after I've done like 10 different countries, you know what I mean? And add those up of like what it was like to do that.
This is also why I said like the more content, the better. Like if you can do sit downs with the actual individuals when you're there talking to these people, because like that's the making of a potential like small documentary of like, here's the world, like here's, I don't know, the world through cooking, right? And like how different cultures are inspired by different other cultures and things like that, right? So, I mean, that almost feels like the Anthony, I always forget his last name, who travels the world, right? Like I watched that whole series, that whole documentary kind of thing on Netflix, and it was really engaging. Like I would have never expected this place to have such wonderful cuisine, or like, oh wow, they cook it this way, or so.
Yeah, and you can brand yourself. If you always wear a headband, like your headband now, you can get that like embroidered with your YouTube channel name.
I like your.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
See the top of it just about the whole time you're talking.
That would be awesome. Like, hey, Ruthie Otero on YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh my God. No, right.
Buy a domain name and then make that easy, and then when they click it, they go to your YouTube channel.
So
you already got the domain name.
Cooking
So
Up Adventures is the domain name. CookingUpAdventures.com.
I actually have
you own
that's the party
with my own like Twitter handle on it. So everywhere I walk, people can immediately recognize me, and it tells them exactly what I do.
Nice.
Eat, sleep, code. Right.
Oh,
nice.
This is what I was selling. This is why I was telling you, like the custom personal hoodies.
Are you still making those?
Yeah.
Wait, where can we see those, man?
Well, there's not even a website. This is what I was telling you. I literally was just going up to people at conferences. I'm like, this is the hoodie I have. Do you want your name on it? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, PayPal me the money, and I'll ship you one.
Love that.
Love it.
That is really good because those icons in the back are precious. It's like,
I mean, even without the icons, it's like just having personalized stuff where people can immediately recognize you. Like for us, we're selling them just with like Twitter handles and their name, right? Because a lot of the people are like conference speakers, and it's really hard at a conference to track down XYZ person.
Right.
But hey, if I can look and just like, hey, there's at CK Darby, you know, I read that you did like esports stuff, or you do gambling or whatever. So conferences is our target audience. But at the front, it usually, like on this one, I think it just says nerd. Yeah, it says nerd. But you can put hustler, author, founder, startup, whatever you like, whoever you are, chef, cook, right?
So that I'm not a chef. I mean, I'm learning. I'm a traveler. I want to travel the world, meet people, and help Americans, because they're my people, know that it's safe to go out.
I mean,
because
I put actor right there, right?
Yeah, actor, chef,
actress. So then, like, you know, and if you like, it's a little bit hard down here. Like, I'm in Austin right now to wear a hoodie, but where I'm from, like, I mean, I'd probably say 8 to 12 months you can get away with a hoodie. And just walking down the street, I've had people be like, "Oh, you're a developer?" I'm like, I've had so many like, "Oh, we're looking to hire. What do you do?" Right? Like, because it's all about like, you know, people. Yeah, like if you saw actress and you're like, "Oh, well, what have you been in?" Or, but like it's that intro line. It's a total stranger has now started a conversation with you, right? Who normally would never have probably started that, right? It's the same thing of when you see someone in the street and you're like, "Where did you get those shoes?" Right? And you're like, "Oh, I got them from such and such." I mean, that's selling a different brand, but you could sell yourself, right? Like,
totally allowed. Whoa, that is great. How many of those hoodies have you sold?
I think we're at like, I don't know, 100 or so. So
that's great. At $70.
That's really good.
Yeah, but I mean, like that $70 is like, I don't make crazy. We don't do this for the money, so.
I know, but still, the fact that they're being sold, that people really like them, and you created them.
So, yeah. I just knew there was a problem. There was a pain point, right? I'm at a conference, I'm a speaker, and people are like, I had someone who was tweeting between me and them, and I'm like, they didn't have a picture. Like, my Twitter picture is an 8-bit character, so no one, like, from my Twitter handle, you don't know what I look like, right? And theirs was like some, I don't even remember what it was, like a little night figure or something. So neither of us knew what each other looked like, and we're trying to track each other down in a conference. But when you're at a conference with 500 people, it's really, really hard to do.
Yes.
Like I would just go up to people and be like, "Are you so and so?" And they'd be like, "No." I'd be like, "Do you know that person?" "No." It's like, fuck. And eventually we found each other. And I'm like, it would be so much easier if there was a way that you just knew who I was. Plus it plays into ego, right? This hoodie, I can never sell. I can never get rid of it. It's mine. It's 100% mine. Like no one else is going to take it. No one else is going to want to wear it. Like it's
no, because they can find you. You know, they're like, that's not you. God, that's great.
The crazy thing with this is actually like we don't actually get any of the clothing. So the business, we literally just partner with another business. They do all the drop shipping for us. So it comes in an unlabeled box. They don't even know. Like all I do is just tell them the address and like ship it here, and that's it. And they deal with all the refunds, all the merchandise returns if there is a return. So like literally I just sell. That's all I do. I don't even deal with the product.
Is this a company in Canada?
No, it's just a US company. They do custom clothing and stuff like that. So
oh, so you design it and they do the rest.
I mean, design it means put a text right here and put 2 texts on the back of the sweater. Yeah.
But wait, who you just buy those from somewhere else? You just place them then?
Yeah, and I don't even replace them. Like the next step would be to like, because I'm a software dev, you make it like you would tie a program around this. So people would just go to like, we're probably going to call it Hustle Hoodies.
Nice name.
You would go to hustlehoodies.com and you would just type in your name, your Twitter handle, and what title you want on the front, and you hit submit. And I don't do anything. It goes over to our manufacturer. They print the stuff on the hoodies they already have. They ship it out in a unlabeled box, so you don't even know it's from a third party. They deal with all the refunds if you have any questions. Like it's a printing money machine. As long as I can get sales, right? Like.
But the thing I'm curious about, because you have Eat Sleep Code, so I would put Eat Sleep Act or Eat Sleep Cook.
Oh, the back isn't even there. On the hoodies that we sell, there's
Eat Sleep Audition.
But this doesn't exist. On the ones we sell, this isn't even there. There's actually nothing there. Because, like... It's because there's, like... It's too hard to sell that. Like, the customization and the time that I'm going to spend, it would have to be per hoodie, and people are going to want different things. Like, it's already...
Sleep and just one. Because eat, sleep, and then the most important thing that they have. Because, like, that's true.
Right.
As an actor.
Exactly.
Eat, sleep, audition.
Yeah, but even the image would have to be different, and, like... I'm all about automation and efficiency, right?
You thought about it. You're right. You're right.
And it's already the fact that people are willing to buy it without it. It's because you're playing on 2 demographics. The ones that want to be recognized for who they are, their name, and the ones who just want the ego of, I have clothes that you can't technically get anywhere else because it's personalized. Like, it's 100% mine. It has my fucking name on it, right? So.
You've thought.
Raquan, you know anybody in LA? We got the CTO of Blab, and he just jumped out because I called him out. We had the CTO in here for a second.
Yeah, he's probably stalking me.
So. Exactly. He's like, hey, Corey, you got some great ideas. Do you want to work for Blab?
I already interviewed. Because
you already interviewed?
There was a spot where I was going to let our startup was going to die. So the gambling startup just couldn't get through legal issues. So it was down the road of dying. And then I started looking for like a tech job. And I was like on Blab 5 minutes, and I DM'd them on Twitter. I'm like, listen, whenever you're starting to hire, like, please get in touch with me. I think this is going to change the world. So I did a Skype call with him, and then it just so happened that and I would have went with that. I would have probably tried to really get on Blab, but me and my founders just decided to move from the gambling stuff over to the media stuff. So we just switched over to the media stuff instead. But yeah, it's a great platform. Like, it's super awesome. Like, I mean, I don't know. It's going to change the world. I think it's going to change the world. So
what is
Blab?
Yeah, I think so too.
I'm surprised.
Despite what Lean Mobile App says.
It takes time, right? Time and growth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that does make me feel better.
I mean, and you also have to remember the time that they've been around too, right? April's the most earliest beta, so.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was even May, but yeah, probably like end of April or something. Is that when they started? Is that right? Or, I don't know. I don't even know.
But
I just know it's awesome.
There aren't many kids on this.
But
they've been like blocking the Snapchat trolls pretty quickly, which is good. I think kicking them off. Because as soon as Snapchat heard about it, they came on. But in the last 3 weeks or so, they came on about 4 weeks ago. Like Snapchat heard about Blab, and then I was getting Snapchat trolled like all that week, but for the last 3 weeks or so, I don't think I've gotten Snapchat trolled at all, which is nice. How about you, Tracy? Have you got Snapchat trolled lately or at all?
Not yet. I see them come into a room, and I'll nip it in the bud. If I'm the host.
Yeah.
What does that mean? What do you see?
Like there was somebody
Snapchat
that
trolling.
came in earlier. You know, it had a really offensive name.
Oh, okay. And so you just block them on this?
Yeah, I just kick them out of the room. I just don't even deal with it. Or if I've seen that they've caused trouble in other rooms, I just kick them out, and I don't care.
Good.
Yeah.
So then, what is the Periscope experience?
Oh, do you Periscope, Tracy?
No. I thought I tried it one time, and I should try. I'm talking to myself, and that's why I like this platform better. But I can see a good use for it, and because there's a few that I follow on Periscope, and I watch their stuff and I learn, and I'm thinking about using it as like, hey, it's Tracy, I'm getting ready to start my Thursday night show. Make sure you come over to Blab, and do it like that. But I have a really just going, oh my God, it's so good to see you. And I don't see them. Oh my God, how are you? And I don't know them.
And in the comments, Lee Mobile Apps Monty is asking, what is the Snapchat troll? So I think I'm going to go ahead and reenact a Snapchat trolling there. Like, so just get ready here. Like,
I mean, they're just people who just cause trouble, really. Real.
He's going to act like a troll.
He's going to act like a troll.
Really? That's what they do?
Yeah, they just like any trolls on the internet. They're just there to like just disturb. Or they'll just come in here and they'll just come in here and just start making up stuff. They'll be like, "Oh yeah," or they'll just start talking about themselves, and like that's it. Like they won't even it won't even be what I was in one Snapchat where the topic was like Bitcoins, and we were talking about Bitcoins, and a person came in and started talking about like horse riding or some shit. And I'm like, what? I'm like, we're talking about Bitcoins. They're like, yeah, I don't want to talk about that. And I wasn't sure if they were just trolling or they were new to Blab. I'm like, that's not how this works. Like, we're just going to kick you out.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I'm going to go. I'm going to hop off here and.
Yeah. I mean,
it was
been talking for like 4 hours or anything. Are you sure, Tracy?
Start cooking. I'm going to make something now to eat for myself. Blab advertising Snapchat. What the heck? Oh, you got this. I love it. Great. Nice. So, yeah, I'm done with my borscht. Thank you so much to everybody for your suggestions. I recorded this so I can take notes and take the effing action. And, Corey, I'm going to follow you. How often are you and Tracy on, I know you're not together, but how often do you guys blab or get on Blab?
I almost never run a Blab myself. But I am frequently in other Blabs. Like every day I check the tech, tech, startup, and like business ones usually. Like that's kind of my expertise of what I know. So I'm using those ones. Okay.
And why haven't you done one? Hosted one yourself?
Because like, I don't know, I need a good co-host. Like I'm not a solo person.
That's so important.
What's a good co-host? Why don't you guys hook up then?
Well, mine are more like I like to talk about like tech stuff. So I need someone who's like very
techie.
like I need another software developer is what I need who just wants to talk.
Monty,
right?
calling you. Monty.
You need to do that. Or why don't you? I mean, Corey, could be kind of like a dating service, and you
Monty, I'm gonna jump out. Why don't you and Corey like have a chat?
Why don't you just ask for what you want, right, Corey? And someone will jump on. Looking for co-host who XYZ. See what happens. Or auditioning co-hosts and see who comes on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but like I've already like played around with the idea. It's like if I'm getting on Blab and doing my own Blabs, like I want to do like Monday and every Monday and Friday on X topics, and I need to find co-hosts that would, one, be available during those schedules, and two, would be able to talk about what we're talking about. So like, I don't mind generic like tech in general stuff, but finding people who have the flexibility of like, hey, can you do Monday and Friday every week? They're like, I don't want to commit to that.
Yeah.
And it's like, well then.
Gotcha. Okay. Monty's here. You guys can talk.
I'm back. What kind of code do you like messing with? I mean,
like I usually write in like Golang and like PHP, but I've dabbled with others.
Wow. Cool. So Mondays and on Fridays, at what time are you doing them, or planning to do them?
The time is pretty flexible. Like I'm usually Eastern time zone, but like that would just be like, when do I need to get up? Like that's how my day. Like this is how my day works. I open up my phone and I'm like, what's on my calendar? I don't even know what day it's Saturday. And I look at my calendar and I'm like, what do I have to do? Or the night before, I'm like, what time do I have to wake up at? If not, I just sleep until I like feel like it's time to get up.
Hey, we hit 150, but Monty, you haven't said like why you're an awesome co-host for Corey yet. So like explain that right now. I demand it.
I love the code. I love the code. I live the code. I got a pretty flexible schedule too. So Mondays, Fridays, I could probably throw something in there to set time as long as we set up a time. But I go and do development stuff as often as I possibly can. And hackathons are my thing. Startup weekends are my thing now. I'm starting to get more.
So you're probably like someone who, do you read Hacker News at all?
Say again?
Do you read Hacker News?
I haven't as much. I need to. I've been literally.
What about Futurology on Reddit? Do you read Futurology?
I do.
Futurology.
Oh my god. Okay, then we're probably made for each other.
Duh.
Like, I'm the person who reads that subreddit on Reddit, and I literally have to close my laptop sometimes.
Yeah, and so
like I am like so excited yet scared of the future.
Yeah.
Like we are living in the most exciting and scariest time ever. Like it's like people don't realize how terrifying it is. Like when I go and say like, what do you do when, self-driving cars come in? And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, if you're in transportation whatsoever, you're out of job or will be out of job. So like, postal workers, truck drivers, taxi,
What do you mean? What are they going to do?
Well, you won't have a job if you're in that industry.
Because I missed something. I skipped.
Because
self-driving cars. Just put a hook up to Google and drive.
And like it trickles down. Like people think about that and are like, oh, the taxi industry screwed. I'm like, no. We don't buy cars anymore. Mm-hmm. We take a subscription. You pay every month, and the car picks you up in the morning and drops you off at work and drives all the rest of the time. You don't own a vehicle.
Oh, you don't own one. Oh.
Like
it's kind of like Minority Report a little bit.
It's like what happens if everyone doesn't own a vehicle, or the majority of the population doesn't own a vehicle now. Because if you think about a car parking lot right now, how many cars are just idle?
Yeah.
We don't all need cars, which means less cars manufactured, which means less manufacturing jobs or less people supporting those cars, less repair mechanics because there's less vehicles on the road, right? Like less, like it trickles down. Like we live in like this, I don't want to be like, oh, tinfoil hat. I'm just saying like, I don't see a solution to it. Mm-hmm. And I'm a software developer. So I always tell people my job, and it's terrible to say, is to replace people's jobs.
Oh yeah.
Like my fundamental task is automation, right? Like that's what I get paid to do, is automate whatever it is. And I don't see the angle, right? Like what do you do when like you just keep automating? And there's the whole argument of like, well, we're creating jobs still. And like, but as a tech person, I don't see that.